All right. Hello. Welcome to Race Brain Podcast. My name is Rich Ryan, joined as always by Jack Bauer and a very special guest, the most recognizable voice of hybrid and OCR, Mappy Davis. What's up, dude?
Morning, everybody.
How the heck are you?
I'm great. Do you want to tell people what I responded to you when you asked me to come on the show? What did I say? What's the first thing I said?
It was OMG, but written all the way out, I think. Oh my God.
And then what was the next line?
I don't think it was a yes or no.
I can't believe you're blowing this.
I don't remember.
You can pull up the text.
I can pull up the text.
Yeah. Matt, you seem to remember though. Let's give spoiler.
Oh, is Bracken dead? I was like, I'm not. We can't confirm.
Can't confirm.
You guys know that low key. I really want to be a guest on the show, and so and it's never happened.
Yeah, it has happened.
You were. What are you talking about? You're a two-time guest now.
You've been on more than this. You're tied with Lauren Smith for the most guests.
So when I got asked, I'm like, well, shit, Bracken must be dead if they're asking me. That was my thought.
I mean, Matt, we dug to the bottom of the barrel to find a replacement. We're asking anybody with the pulse out there, and then Rich is like, "Oh, I've heard of Matt.
Who's this guy? Free, has a good microphone, and will definitely say yes.
A good microphone adapter, a piece that connects the microphone to the computer. That's not normal stuff. No one has that stuff.
Take the word for it.
No one has it.
I mean, most people when they listen to this show, they expect deep, in-depth shoe technology talk. But now you've got Rich and Matt talking about microphone tech. So dude, this is your thing.
Matt's locked into the Hoka Mach. Loves the Mach series of Hoka.
Yeah, I'm a 4 guy all the way.
The Mach 6 is good. You should check it out.
I really didn't like the 5, and I still buy 4s. But I'm not even a runner anymore. I'm more of a hybrid guy, so I don't really need all that cushion.
Which means you're a runner.
Lifts and runs. Wait, you're doing HYROX doubles, correct?
I am.
You prepping?
Well, I don't know. I know you don't listen to my shows, but I've had
He's drinking his milk.
Look at that glass of cold milk.
Get that milk mustache, Matt. Come on, we need a cover photo.
Get it. Milk that we've had.
These idiots know I'm drinking a healthy shake, yet they keep saying milk, and they
nothing wrong with milk.
If you watch the YouTube coverage and you just see a man pull up a white glass of something, you think that's milk?
Mustache?
Get a milk mustache, Matt. A good like Mark Dwyer style.
You can clearly tell that it's off-white, that it's vanilla.
I'm colorblind. I can't see that.
That it's well, yeah. You're colorblind.
It looks milk. It looks like milk.
Vanilla flavored protein shake, and the way it forms on the glass also proves it's not milk. You guys are just trying to get a rise out of me. Not gonna work.
Could be raw milk.
I've only seen you drink coffee before. I didn't know you had other liquid substances in your body besides Dunkin' Donuts.
I do have a Costa coffee that I got.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
And I also got a little refill. You told me to make sure I got the last of the pot. Just poured the last in the pot right there, so I wouldn't have to get up during this call.
Matt, we love having you. Thank you for taking time to be here. Thank you for taking the time. Bracken is not dead that we don't know. We don't know.
Could be. But probably not.
He's off the grid. He's
visiting the presidents on a rock, Mount Rushmore.
For those who didn't have time to think that, Jack's going to go ahead and spoil that question for you.
Yep.
All right. So we had a busy weekend. We had a busy weekend of stuff. We had Spartan, Utah, the last stop in the U.S. National Series. And we had Deka Fort Wayne and the first ever Deka Ultra. So this is great. Having Jackson be locked into the stats. I'm going to be making stuff up on the fly. And Matt's out here. He's got people on the ground. He knows. He's like the Varys. He's got little birds everywhere.
I thought you were going to say I'm somewhere in between you and Jack. Like you're making it up. Jax knows stuff. I'm kind of in between.
You got your little birds out there.
You have my little birds out there.
So you were probably more locked in.
Although you're clearly not locked in to House of the Dragon because there's new people. Massaria.
Are you more of a Varys or a Laris?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got Laris, you got Massaria. That's the whole.
You'd rather be a Massaria?
Well, Laris is just fucking creepy. Come on, who likes Laris?
That's why I gave you Varys. Varys was great.
This was amazing, but again, you got to keep up with the times.
I'm one episode behind. No spoilers.
Okay.
I'm locked in. You up to date?
I'm up to date. I'm doing podcasts about it. I'm watching everything you missed in this episode, and then I watch another creator's everything you missed in this episode.
Right. A lot of content to consume when it comes to.
I have a question. Did you
Yes.
guys do a triple draft? Did you guys do USNS regular DEKAFIT and Ultra Fit draft last
Matt,
episode?
you just said you don't listen to my show. I know, and now you're just admitting you don't listen to our show. This is pretty rude. Come on here.
I listen, Jack. I send you texts all the time. Rich, I send you texts all the time. I would send Bracken texts, but he doesn't give a fuck. But I did not listen to last week, and I was curious if you did a triple bypass draft.
We did not. We restructured our in corporate talk our draft structure for.
You reorged?
Yeah.
Well, RB reorg.
We redistributed our resources, our time resources on the draft.
Okay, how did that go?
We did no drafting.
No draft.
Okay, so did you? But what's fun then? If you can't, did you at least pick a winner, or how did that go?
Yeah, we kind of did a breakdown. Rich, you had a good point. Actually, Rich, if you want to kind of describe your thought process and like why we went there, I thought it was a good idea for when you don't know the athletes heading into it as much.
Well, we had the start list for the Utah race, and the athletes who are attending these, we're just not too familiar with their ability level yet. Like,
I mean, but Jack is, but nobody else is what you're saying.
Yeah. It would have been more of like,
Jack's
hey,
like, yeah, duh.
This person got fifth at a local rate. The credentials aren't there compared to some of the others. You know, you wouldn't spend as much time on them normally, but because the field was a little diluted.
And not that they wouldn't, and not that
women's field was stacked for heading into it.
The men's field actually ended up being really solid.
Yeah, too. Heading into it, and then we had all these people just show up out of nowhere, and it's like, oh well, that made it a race.
Yeah, the race was actually really solid at the top. On the men's side, we had Hot Call, heard of him, Chris Bob Brown, heard of him, and Balin Bean, Lean Mean Balin Bean, finishing the top three. That's a legitimate podium there, where we didn't think it was there. Any of those guys were going to be at this.
And who got fourth?
Yeah, Isaac Sanderson, who we thought was going to be the guy to beat at this race. So we would have been correct.
Yeah. If
these other three didn't show up.
Well, I think I'd asked Hawk a couple weeks ago, and he said, not sure, haven't been paid. I got other stuff going on. But I didn't know that it was like that close, I guess. Like the race he was doing was that close. And then he's like, all right, fuck it. I may as well jump in.
We talked a couple days, or actually morning of recording the podcast. And he's like, I've got a 28K, which turned out to be the Speed Goat 28K, which is a pretty legit race. Get some pretty fast guys. And that was on a Friday, and it had 6,000 feet of gain, and it was 19 miles long. And he won that one. And then he's like, you know what? Let's go to Spartan. Let's get another win. Maybe they'll pay me. And so he showed up and took care of business unexpectedly, or as expected. Sorry.
They got rid of those 300-pound tires and was like, I'm all in.
Yep.
Right.
No having an aneurysm lifting that thing.
So the men's field actually ended up being pretty solid. There's going to be some coverage that comes out in about a week, we're thinking, like some post coverage stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely high quality because it's the post edited. Just Jason has some travel plans heading over to the UK, and we just weren't able to, get all the video and audio synced up by then. So yeah, early next week.
Will anyone care by then is the question, though. Will anyone care?
Jack, I think care to field this one?
Yeah, I think realistically, when you have race coverage and it's good quality, you're gonna watch it regardless. Like, sure, the hype isn't there necessarily, but now you'll
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm totally good with the live to tape, right? I think that's the way to go, considering the way they're doing it. They're getting the signal that you get, which we all know is like can be crappy. So if you can turn it around quick. Are you holding up your hand?
We got these new cameras that will follow your head, and this is how you turn it on or off. So now it's on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm all about the live
doing
to
head
tape.
fakes.
I'm all about the live to tape. And if you turn that around pretty quickly, which he has done and Spartan has done, I did it with Savage a couple of times. It's still kind of worth it. Several days later, it's a lot less worth it. That's all. People have moved on with their life. The very small percentage of people that really care is getting smaller and smaller the longer you get away from the time. It's like, oh yeah, Big Bear happened. That's all.
And yeah, maybe down the road it'll be okay for.
I'm not knocking Jason or OCR report. I'm just saying it's a long time to care. That's all.
In this climate where we're just ripping off takes. We'll have new things to look forward to next week. I kind of agree.
I get what you're
That's
saying.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
understand.
The news cycle will be something else the longer you wait. That's all.
For sure. For sure. And these
But
type of
people
things
accuse
are.
me of being mean. People accuse me of being a mean person. That's fine. It happens all the time.
So you're just.
I dare said that not a lot of people showed up to Deka, and people were like, "Well, it's because the flights were bad." I'm like, "Yes, that's why, because the flights were bad."
But that's also part of it. And it's something I do want to talk about with the Deka piece of it all. But sticking here in Utah, on the women's end, we had Lauren Weeks really smash the field in 250. And then Lisa Musacchio was 301. Casey Monroe was 310. So I just looked up the results really fast from last year. Lauren Weeks won this race last year as well. Was this not this wasn't a stop in the series.
No,
3Ks.
3Ks.
Remember the 3K? That was sick.
Looking real appealing right now.
See, this is why we need the other hybrid racing list. I'm sorry, the other hybrid racing rankings for everything that's not HYROX, but you're really good at a bunch of other stuff, right? Completely other rankings board, right? And then we get Lauren Weeks in there, and we get
the
Christopher
parking lot?
Isaac.
You want the parking lot thing again? It's the parking lot rankings.
Well, it's just like, because there's something to be said for someone that can kick ass in a HYROX and can kick ass in a fucking 13-mile mountain thing. That's pretty awesome. And yes, it's not the most touted field. And yes, of course, Nicole and Lindsay and all them out there. It's still pretty impressive.
It's extremely impressive. It's extremely impressive that she can come out and run a time like this.
Your girl Meg running 13 miles on the mountains.
I bet she could.
You think Kate Davies running 13 miles an hour? These broads aren't doing that.
Viola probably is, because she has roughly a 10th place finish at European Championship before in Spartan against Ida, Esther,
Viola Oberlanda.
Yeah, Viola's good. Who else? Jezebel Kramer.
Jezebel, absolutely.
Who else?
I just love it.
Isaac Sanderson.
That's it.
I just listen. I love
Kent.
I think we used to just be so impressed with Atkins, right? Because Atkins was the guy that could win a sprint and win the 24-hour, and that was kind of the level of hybrid or biggest range that we could think of. But now we've got these short, hybrid races, fitness racing, it's called, according to Mo, CEO of HYROX. But anyway, Jack and I really love it. So so I'm very impressed. And I actually had Julie Best on the show, and she was like, "Holy shit, there goes Lauren," when Lauren ran past her on the hill.
Because Lauren lives out there, but she hasn't been great at descents. And if this course is close to the same as last year, she was 8 minutes faster.
It was very close.
Was like the same exact course. I mean, what could they do to add that much time? Like nothing.
One other super impressive thing about her performance, if you look, Casey Monroe got 3rd place in all 3 races. So she's kind of the standard across the board this year in the National Series race. On the women's side, she's pulling Emmanuel Defoe. She's 3rd place locked in. In the super in Big Bear, Annie ended up beating Casey by about 11 minutes. And if we look at the Beast, which is about double the distance, Lauren ended up beating Casey by about 21 minutes. So basically the same ratio. So Lauren pretty much ran an Annie style dominant race at this race. Really impressive.
That would have been interesting to see against an athlete who would, like Annie, who could descend a little bit better, like how she would fare.
And Annie's probably top 3 best climber in the women's field also.
And really good at obstacles.
Yeah.
But Lauren's fit.
Yeah.
Lauren's fitness is next level. In a parking lot, you'd pick her, Matt?
Yeah, and I don't know, did she fail anything?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
What do you fail at this point? Spear throw?
Was there a spear throw?
It's gotta be.
Yeah. Olympus is failable.
Olympus is definitely failable.
Some people did fail. Yep. Saw some posts on that.
There was a one year.
Some people can't do the box.
Is that still an obstacle? Matt, what are our new obstacles this year? You got us every single obstacle?
Brought to you by ORM.
Hey, man. I just went through my comments. I hadn't been through in a minute. Do you know how many I'm doing my first one? This was so helpful to me.
You're out there helping the people, man. You're of the community.
I mean, it only took me a decade to learn that's probably a good thing to do. Seriously, I think I made my first one 3 years ago, and people are like, these videos, like I got the most comments, the most views. I'm getting a steady stream of YouTube dollars, and most of them are because of those videos that I make. I also use Taryn in the thumbnail. That also helps. But they gotta stay. They gotta stay to get more clicks, and people are staying. Just me talking. So here comes the spear throw. So what you want to do?
Do you have a GoPro on?
That's all it is a GoPro.
That
GoPro Hero 10, not even the 12 or the 13, whatever they're up to now.
What do I have?
Like the dial-up version.
No, what I have.
The really old one is like the pre, like you can tell if you watch an old video, it's super gray, but Hero 10 does the job. Yeah. Anyway, people love, sometimes my phone, like if the GoPro dies, then I just go back to the spear throw with my phone.
Phone looks great.
Very helpful stuff.
Phone looks great. That's how I was with the footwear. I put a bunch of like training stuff for HYROX, and did a one about shoes. And that's what people care about. It's like, okay.
That's all they care about.
Fine. You get your shoes. I like to talk about it, right, Jack?
Just, it's what's interesting. You're just talking to me, so we're gonna go all over the place.
Yeah.
When you jump in those HYROX groups, it literally is like we used to joke that it was always like, hey, what shoes are for Spartan? But literally, like, go to the HYROX groups right now. I'm doing this. Does anybody know any training apps? And then people are like rush to put their coaches in or whatever. It's a lot. And like that's what the universe Googles. It's like, what do I train? Like, I should be writing more of these fucking articles. I don't have time, right? I'm a one-man show mostly.
HYROX training program does well.
Dude, I'm sure you guys are crushing it in the Ermers.
Oh yeah. We're locked in, dude.
And they've got training camps also. That's something that most people don't offer.
Got training camps, got a little coverage.
I'm waiting for the East Coast version. You got Kent over here. I'll totally come to the East Coast version.
We're cooking something up. There's a possibility of a Southeast version even.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm allowed, they probably won't allow me.
We'll discuss it internally.
Just for fun, my money, Matt. We don't want you anywhere our fucking camp.
We'll discuss it internally.
Got a question. Did you guys end up having that bench press contest like you were talking?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
Oh man, this was great. So Kent, he didn't do the workout. I did this workout, had a bunch of burpees, a bunch of wall balls. We did some push-ups. We started benching, and it was Friday. Kent's like, I don't know. Like, I just benched on Monday. And I'm like, come on,
4
dude.
days later.
Come on. Get out here. Yeah. I think he got 275. I did 245, kind of. Close to 245. He was calm. He was calling my bluff on that.
Did you get a little assist at the end?
A little bit. Somebody had their hands there. I think they touched the bar.
You had already done stuff before, you said?
He was screaming, oh, you. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Yeah. It's definitely you.
But it was a nice time.
Yeah. Matt,
what's Luca bench pressing?
He could probably put up a lot. He was this was like after a workout, so we were kind of doing it on our own. And Luca, he's whipping up the meals. He's getting everybody nourished, getting everything set up. So he's in the kitchen crushing. Well, we're outside goofing off.
All right. Yeah, because Matt, this started because we randomly I think Nick Riker made some comment in the group chat that we're part of that, like he could only squat like 185 or something. So then
no, it was actually a dude. Let's give this dude a little bit of a shout. I don't have his name here. But some guy did one of those Instagram challenges, Matt, right? It's not an Instagram challenge. It's like it's something that you think you can do. So you make it a challenge and then you put it in your profile that you did this thing that no one else made up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So he had a challenge of running or lifting 1,000 pounds total between deadlift, bench, and squat, which is like solid
numbers.
I fucking no-rep that guy. I no-rep that guy.
Oh, you saw this video?
Oh yeah.
You know-repped him on which part?
He tagged me. I'm so glad we're talking. Months ago, he said, I'm thinking of doing X, or I'm trying to do X. And I was like, cool, like, let me know. Maybe we'll share it, right? So he tags me, right? I watch it. His squat is garbage. And I go,
squat wasn't good.
I don't think you got it. I said, but I will ask people that I trust more than me, okay? So who did I send it to? My boys, Dave Claxton, okay? Anthony Parasini. And they were like, not even fucking close. So this motherfucker... I should calm down.
It's okay. No. We're glad we brought this up. This wasn't on the agenda.
It happens.
I said, I don't think you got it. He's like, I'm gonna say I did. It's close enough. My buddy said I got it. I was like, my mom thinks I'm the best at everything. You get it. And he kind of kept going. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like he kind of kept like this logic that just didn't make sense. I said that would be like if I said I'm going to go for a sub-4 marathon. I got 4:01 and said, it's close enough. I'm going to call it. Because that's kind of what
Started in row 2.
Like it wasn't perfect, but I'm going to call it. You know what I mean? I said, you did or you didn't. It's binary. You didn't. You did not get the proper depth. And he said something about the camera angle. I said, getting the camera angle is part of it. Like you didn't get it. And then he kept going. And I said, dude, you can do whatever you want. Don't tag me in anything.
I'm not posting it.
Because that shit's garbage. So then I think I finally kind of was like, I want to break the tension. I think I made a joke and he joked back. And so he's okay with me, whatever his name is. We can say it or not say it. But
let me try to find it.
But yeah, dude, don't be tagging HFM and think I'm going to share your, you know what I'm saying? It's just the thing that bothers me is like, oh man, yeah, I didn't get it, man. I'm going to go for it next time. I'm going to really get it. But to be like, I'm going to go ahead and call it. My buddy said I was good when we were filming.
Nailed it.
So anyway, he's good in my book now because we joked about it. And I think he understands. I think he's backed off a little bit, but I'm certainly not sharing it.
Well, this unexpected topic ended up being worth it.
We didn't touch the whole thing too, because it's 1,000 pounds total for lifts and running a 4:30 mile in the same day, which is pretty good.
When you can lift, that's a fast mile.
By the way, I don't even like same day. Give me back to back, or I don't give a shit. Seriously,
what are you gonna have your bench ready on the turf? Like,
well, you can figure it out.
Do it at a high school gym. Run out to the track. Give yourself 30 minutes to rest. I don't know. Same day is like, who cares?
It's
you've got to do the mile at the end.
How about I work 8 hours a day and have the time to deal with my horrible fucking children and sometimes my half decent husband? How about that in one day?
Make a post, put it in the profile.
There's your viral clip. I want this to be the viral clip. Put it on captions with my big green letters.
Drinking
milk.
What
the AI generator says about the clips. That gives you a score. We'll see if that one. Let's see where that one scores on there. It might be good. Good hook.
Well, Matt. Just to add to this 1,000-pound thing,
Callum Parker.
Can I tell you one of the best things about getting older?
Yep.
Yes.
I laugh fucking harder at anything than I ever have. Like my wife and I just crack each other up over the stupidest shit, and it's how I know I married the right woman. Okay, so Rich, you know what a rewatchables fan I am. Rich,
yes.
So I sneak rewatchables on my wife, right? Like she would not be a fan of that show, right? Like those boys are like not really talking her language, right?
Sometimes there's girls on.
No, but CR and Bill and Fantasy it's very much
those are
There's No Way Out. It's a very male centric podcast, for example. Yeah, talking about all the crazy Gene Hackman trying to be sexy scenes. So I sometimes get to sneak them in there, right? I'm just like, hey, let's watch this old movie. And we've been watching a lot. We've had a lot of fun. Okay. So we put on Twister because Twister's back.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Twister's is a whole thing. And in the beginning part of the movie, spoiler alert, the father gets fucking sucked out by the Twister. Stacy and I fucking howling.
How does it look? Does it look absurd?
It is absurd. And that's not what they're going for. But my wife and I, that's how I know we're the right people. He's like, oh, he just flies out. We both died laughing. That's how I know I married the right woman. Where were we going? I forgot where we were going.
I don't remember it being a comedy. Did anyone watch the Sharks Under Paris or whatever? Shark in Paris. No, there's a Netflix. There's a shark got in the Seine.
Really? Right before the Olympics?
Yeah, that was like part of the story. But that
was intentional.
It was so stupid, but they didn't act like it was stupid when they were like they didn't lean into how dumb it was. But it
they didn't know they were in a Sharknado movie. They thought they were in a serious movie.
It kind of seemed like that, even though this was like an absurd. Like it gets more and more absurd, but they're just still acting like it's normal.
Yeah.
I didn't have that big of an issue with this.
Listen,
squat.
I don't feel bad anymore. Getting back to Callum, listen, but you tagged a media company. All bets are off. I'm not going to read the exact things unless you want me to. I'll do it on my killer. But yeah, you give him close enough. You give him that rep. Are you kidding me?
That rep is close, but the issue. He's wearing straps for his deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
not real.
I don't think that if you're not holding it,
grip is part of it.
Grip's part of it.
I don't care if you have opposing hands, but you can't use straps.
Yeah.
Okay.
His
Well,
his
That's
squat
like
was
using
probably,
that's like using a hex bar for deadlift. I was like,
Yeah,
no,
that's
that
like-
doesn't count.
like if he got that close on the squat, like he could probably do it. Like that's probably what he's thinking. He's like, whatever. Like, yeah,
oh,
but
we're
like
doing
I was
CrossFit rule shows capacity.
shows capacity. I think he would be able if he'd like if his buddy did have him go a little bit, he probably could have gone like that much lower, however much lower he needed to go. But I don't know if he could pull that much if he wasn't wearing straps. So that was my issue with it.
Yeah.
But
Matt,
anyway,
we're gonna play a little game real quick. We're in a group chat, and everybody listed there in the past few months lifts that they've hit. Which guys do you think are part of the 1,000-pound club? So is Rich
Just period all day or ever?
just in the past 3 months? Like we've done we've squatted at one point, we've
Yeah, ever.
deadlifted, benched. Not lifetime PR.
I would say Jack and Rich, but not Bracken, because Bracken never wanted to get that strong. Those are my guess.
All right, so Rich is at 977. He's very close.
close.
Rich has
Okay,
got
I'm
that.
gonna give it to him. Close enough.
Thank
Yeah,
you
close
for the
enough.
profile.
Round it. Rich has that 407 deadlift, 325 squat, 245 bench, which he just did this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Close enough.
Me, I'm at 910. So got a little ways to go. Still, Bracken's at 875. So that guy's weak.
Dang.
Yeah, I knew you guys. Listen, Bracken wanted to stay thin, right, and fast. Speaking of which, can we talk? I know, again, we're going all over the place. Jack, please tell me you're watching Sprint, the Drive to Survive for runners. You have to be watching this.
I've already seen that. I've
Come and
seen
gone.
Unchained, the Tour de France.
He's,
Both
he's done. He's on wide receiver now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yet,
I messaged Bracken, and Bracken was like, I don't know if I want to watch it.
He can't stand Noah Lyles, so that's not the show for him.
Jack, this show did its job. I am so excited now. I'm watching all YouTube clips, and I'm back with you on the don't spoil it on the frame now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
What else were you gonna say?
Thumbnail.
Okay, so there you go, guys. I'm on your team on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't wait for the Olympics, right? I cannot wait to watch the 100 and 200 in the Olympics. They did a great job. Here's personalities. Here's what they're like. Different countries, different styles. You either love or hate Sha'Carri or Noah. Like, they did a really good job. And I remember how fucking impressive it is. Like, we just see these things all the time, but you're like, oh, when they do that fucking moving angle from the side, and you're just like, and you watch Noah and all these great back half runners, and they just go. My one problem is they don't show it enough. They've got this from so many angles, and they just show the race, and maybe you get a second one. We should get like 5 or 6 really fucking slow ones, right? How do you like that form?
The problem is it's a 10 to 20 second race, the 100 and the 200. So you don't have that many races. Like they definitely.
No, but they could slow it down and show me, right? They could show me that
I think
acceleration.
going fast is the way to go, because it shows their top end speed. Personally,
You can do both. It's only 10 seconds.
you can do both.
Show both, but no, I'm fucking watching these Diamond League fucking highlights. I'm like, oh, where's
Matt's he's gonna get the Peacock app pretty soon.
Yeah, dude, you got to get locked in the Peacock for the at least for the Olympics. At least for the Olympics.
Do it for the next month.
So here's the question: are people biting on it the way they bit on Netflix or quarterback? I mean, F1 or quarterback? Because like I'm like I said, it worked for me. I watch it with my kid. Even me and River both are like, oh, we love this guy. Oh, we hate this guy.
Who are your people?
Well, I'm certainly rooting for Americans, right? How can you not root for beautiful? What's her name? Who's our beautiful 200 meter? Not
Gabby Thomas.
Gabby Thomas. She's a mass.
How can you not love Gabby, right? And then I'm split on Noah. At first, I kind of liked his braggadocious, and then I was kind of over it, and I was kind of rooting for the British guy that was like more of an underdog.
Matt, you're gonna appreciate this. So we've on the past couple episodes, you probably haven't listened, since it sounds like it, but we compare Noah Lyles to like Dwight Howard or Russell Wilson, like
in terms of corniness.
Yeah, like he's trying to be someone he's not.
He's just super corny.
Wants to be, but it's like you're faking it.
Or maybe he is just corny, and he just like brings.
Funny that you say. It's funny that you say Dwight Howard. Russell's corny. Dwight Howard, I didn't think was corny.
Oh, Dwight
Howard
corny.
was very corny.
Definitely corny. Russ is corny in a way, in a different
Dwight
way.
put on the
Not the same
Superman-
type of corny, but
when
they're
Dwight put on
both
the Superman cape. I thought it was funny.
You loved it. Oh, you're into Dwight Stein, so you might like
Okay.
Noah too.
Yeah.
When he won the year
cool.
that he won and he dunked and he basically threw it down.
He
'cause
didn't
it was-
dunk. He was 4 feet. He was as close to the dunk as that guy was to the squat.
But that's why it was so amazing because he was so far above the rim that he threw it down. Why am I not on this podcast all the time? Look at these amazing things we could be talking about.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I like Dwight in terms of his athletic
Yeah.
accomplishments, same way Noah, but just the antics around it, corny as
Antics.
can be.
That's right.
Corny as can be.
We'll do a little pressure for you guys. Let me get the character. Hang on a second. Ready? Let's ride. Wait a minute. Broncos country. Let's ride. No?
Is that what
Neither of
Russ
us are
does?
Broncos fans. Yeah.
What Russ does.
Yeah.
He's corny.
Well, he's
coming
in
back.
Pittsburgh now.
He's coming
so.
back to week one opener. Week one opener here.
Matt, one other question just on this, you being impressed by the sprinting, all right, and all those angles. This has been a dream of mine, and I know other people have said stuff like this, but I think we have the opportunity to do it. We've got the enhanced games most likely coming up in 2025 next year. That's where they're allowing people to dope, just see how fast they can
Oh,
go.
I know the enhanced games. I was on their press conference.
That's awesome. But
Oh, so
here
maybe
is
you can
the-
fill us in. I'm not
Yeah.
locked in on that.
So here's what I have always wanted, and this would make the Olympians, the regular ones who probably some of them are doping anyway, but the ones that we're going to see in Paris coming up, it would make it so much more impressive. You just pluck a random person out of the audience, and it's like, all right, you're lining up in the 100. They have the opportunity to do that. That like if you enter the stadium to watch it, you might get randomly selected, and now you are average person, and you have to go head to head against these juiced up people. Let's see how fast people are. I want to see something like that.
I have some very bad news for those of you that are excited about the enhanced games. Never going to happen.
Is that what they said in their press conference?
No, when you get past the headline, they're clowns.
Hmm.
I mean, watch the guy. He's on Rogan recently, so you can see what a clown he is. I got on there. They had when they first came out, and they're like, I wanted to get an interview with the guy because I was just as excited as you guys were. I didn't get an interview, but he did a Zoom link, and I recorded, and I asked him about like long-term health concerns. And his answer was that, you don't know what's aspirin. Aspirin could be just as bad for you. That was his answer. So that was clown show number one. There's two guys. One is, I think, more the doctor, but they're both, listen, the thing they said, which was smart, was we don't have to have a host city. We can do the swim at USC and the run in New York at a track. Like, so that would be smart. But they said it was basically just, we have so much interest. It's all these people have written us. It's like one guy posted one thing that said, oh, I might want to do that. And they use that as everyone's interested. It's kind of like the guy that tried to do the when Rob Butler said everyone wants to do his event in Vermont that costs $1,000 to enter. And I said, you only have 2 entries. He's like, yeah, but we've gotten 20 emails.
A lot of people asking.
A lot of
So,
that's a
lot of
recurring
people.
theme on the show.
So that's we have 3 companies that want to do a documentary for us. It's like, yeah, you got DM'd by 3 guys who have like 800 followers that were like, we'll make the documentary for you, which is great. It's not going to happen.
So we'll follow this story slightly
I'll be
when it
correct.
comes in, and hey, not wouldn't bet against it. But to go back to your story, Matt, about did the sprint hook people in the way that it hooked you? And I mean, you've been on the periphery of this for a while, right? And it's just like an extra excuse to just like dive in and be like, all right, cool. Here, now I'm
When I
all
hear you
in.
guys, but when
It's
I would hear
running
you guys-
adjacent.
when I heard you guys talking about it, like I'd lose interest pretty quickly. Like I heard, like I'd hear, like I would watch, once in a while it would be in my algorithm, like so-and-so breaks the 1600 meter, or look at the amazing comeback from so-and-so, like the kid, who's the one kid that's really good, the one American kid. the last
Hobbs.
couple of days.
Quincy
Hobbs
Wilson.
Kessler?
Quincy the 400 runner.
No,
See,
this
this-
is I think, a
never mind.
5K guy. I think this is a 5K guy, maybe.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Nope. White
No,
dude,
no,
white
no.
kid,
Yeah,
runner.
Hobbs.
It's Hobbs Kessler. Yeah.
Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
fine.
We're just saying.
Fast fit-
We're just
fast
saying
runner.
names.
You
Yeah.
guys would get deep into it, and Bracken would start talking about, hey, we used to do these practices on Thursdays, and I'd be like, click, change the fucking channel. Even though you guys aren't on the radio, I would change the channel. Anyway, I've been adjacently interested. Yes, go ahead.
So I'm not sure, and especially now with Netflix stuff, and I think this seems to be a blueprint that people think will help a sport grow, and it certainly would, right? It helped with Drive to Survive, but now there seems to be one of these things that comes out for every niche sport, and
Right.
is it now going to be too late? Is it going to be too saturated? Like, say, HYROX wants to fund something like this for the HYROX season. Would people care about that at all, or is it now too much content in these, like, you got to watch the season
Well,
3 of Drive to Survive? Now it's like the tennis one, and there's the
but I
golf one,
think
now
I'm.
there's the
But I
track
think I'm.
one.
I've watched the most recent season of Drive to Survive. I'm good. You
You're
mean
out
it's
now.
because it's the same notes over and over.
Did you
Pretty
start
much.
watching F1?
No, but I was half interested, and I watched this guy called Rocket Powered Mohawk, who's
You
like this
thought about
hilarious.
it. You thought about watching it.
Well, first of all, I'm not getting up that early, and second of all, anyway, it hasn't turned me into a fan, and I probably won't watch this. It used to be the minute the season came out, I would watch it because I caught it on season 2 or 3. The last two, it's kind of been the same. It's the same notes mostly. Um, the quarterback one I haven't watched, the receiver one I haven't watched, the tennis one I haven't watched. Because I ended up loving the running one so much, I think I will watch the quarterback and receiver
Mm,
one. I'm a football fan, but like I don't want like they showed me Kirk Cousins and with his kids. I'm like, I don't
that's your
think
man's now.
well,
You
now he's
gotta
my
you gotta be locked in.
guy.
He's your guy.
But
4 more years.
but I think it was well timed, right, with the Olympics because they can
That was
immediately
intentional.
do right. Like, oh, we're gonna do season 2. You guys can't wait for this. But okay, so let's ask the question, right? If you did it for HYROX, right? Like if they knew if they shot it and got good personalities, right? So
Mhm,
who you put on it? You're gonna put Meg, you're
mhm,
gonna put Hunter,
mhm.
gonna put Sandy, you're gonna put this is my picks, Dylan. I'm trying to think who makes for a good story. Like what's Rich's story?
I'm just plugging away. I got nothing for something like that.
Just plug away. Probably
How
Kent. Kent's extremely handsome, cries on camera, right? If you get the
Ken could be
right
good.
stories, I think you know what I'm saying.
How many people
Jack would
are
Jack would be the talking head. I'd be mad because it should be me, but it'd probably end up being Jack, right?
Yeah.
that you wouldn't watch?
Oh,
How many people do they feature on Drive to Survive? Like, how many characters are there?
Well, there's only 10 teams,
So
right?
they do all 10?
but they probably have like owners and manager behind the scenes stuff, not just the drivers, right?
Yes. Have you guys not watched Drive to Survive?
I just don't want to. I just don't
Tried.
want a new niche sport.
Yeah.
I'm capped at niche sports. I don't want to be
Um,
drawn into something.
um, if
So
you watch those first 2 seasons, it's hard not to just like really just kind of
I watched like 4 or 5 episodes and I just couldn't get into it the same way that I can with human powered athletics. Like I just car racing doesn't appeal to me as much.
okay, let's do 5 and 5 then. 5 men, 5 women. If there's
All right.
10 on Drive to Survive and that's successful, we can do it
oh,
for
that's
the.
what you were trying to do. Well, how many well, but remember there's always like A story, B story, right? And then there's always a couple of people who like, oh, by the way, this person's also really good.
Sure.
Like the first 2 years of Survive, there was almost no Lewis, and Lewis won every race, but there was just nothing interesting about that.
Right.
So he was like, you wouldn't know that he was the best part of it. It's all Daniel Ricciardo, who's like handsome and funny and had some rough times, and some of these other guys. But anyhow, um,
So on the women's side, it has to
well,
be Meg and
I
Lauren.
guess
Yeah.
Lauren has to, like,
right, and
that's
you've got the great thing between those two because they battle back and forth who
yes,
wins.
that's the
Very
story.
different personality.
Yes.
That's a story, right? And then the B story or the other stories would be, yeah, the majors would be the story. The majors would be the episodes, and then or you get one episode is like preseason while everyone is getting good times, the four
All right.
majors, and then the championship.
But-
there you go. There's your 5 episodes.
Those are our episodes, but in terms of human interest who they're going to show, I think Megan Lauren definitely. I think
And then
Right.
because of
Amy
this-
Bevilacqua, because of her age, you put her on there because that's such a unique circumstance.
with this, if it's going to be following the majors, the people they picked have to be guaranteed to be in the majors before the season starts. And Amy's not. If I'm
I know,
just playing
but
devil's advocate.
But if you look at some of the like Unchained Tour de France. That basically they're like, here's a race, here's a stage that happened within the race, and something really cool happened, and now we're gonna dedicate this whole episode, one of the
See,
8
here's why these shows are
episodes.
so good that people don't understand. Like, as a filmmaker myself,
Mm-hmm.
you can only show what you got. You can only shoot. You can only produce what you shot. So they have so many cameras and they shoot everybody, and so they end up getting like you might not get the story that you want because it's like, oh, we kind of didn't get
Right.
that. So I think she's a lower priority. I think you get Kate Davey, right?
Mhm.
She's really good to look at, right? And a good racer, right? And you want to get at least one UK person, and then who from Europe would you get
I mean, then it's
for
Linda or
women?
Viola or Michaela because she's dealing with the health stuff.
Yeah. You need an
Right.
injury background, whether that's her or
It'd be a
Michaela
good
or
redemption story.
Chris, like Chris being a former world champ who's dealt with injuries this year. Like I could see something like
Rich
that.
is giving that a hard no. That's a no from him, dog.
She's just
All
not,
right.
she's just not all
Anti-Chris?
in. She's
Are
just
you
not all in.
anti-Chris? That's
No,
Bracken.
Super Pro
Bracken's anti-Chris.
BK and Chris.
Yeah, why do you
that is
think Bracken's
nonsense.
not on the show this week? He was anti-Chris for too long.
He just got
Fuck
booted.
that.
Yeah, I saw Chris this weekend. It was great. But she's just like doing so much other stuff where if we're gonna
Was
do a
she-
story about HYROX, it should be people that are doing like just HYROX.
Was she 100% participant or was she player coach? Did she help you with stuff?
Yeah, little player coach. Popped in. Got to spend some time with the peeps. Drop some knowledge. She's just a joy. She's just a delight.
She's a joy and a pleasure.
She's a
All
delight.
right.
Amy Bevilacqua, Kate Davey, Michaela, Lauren, and Meg. Are we casting this
Sure.
thing?
Sure.
I don't hate Vivian in there as well. Just personality wise.
Dude.
Personality
Yeah.
wise.
Oh, dude.
And you know she's going to be in the top 4 now.
She's
top
going to be at
3.
every major.
Yep.
You got to put sorry. We
That's
got
a
to
good point.
These other 3. So I'm putting Vivian in here too. And then
Now we're heavy US, but honestly, in the women's side,
who's
it is
funding
heavy
this?
US.
Who's funding this thing? The U.S. probably.
Matt is
Oh yeah, I'm funding it.
We're
Yep.
funding this thing.
on camera. It's binding.
You know,
subscribe to
we
Patreon.
joke, guys, but it kind of HYROX is kind of becoming a thing.
They could
Like, it
definitely
could
do
happen.
this. This is within
Yep.
the realm of possibility.
They've had some really good CrossFit similar type of like Fittest on Earth and some of those
Right,
documentaries.
that's what I'm saying. Like
This could happen.
This could be totally. This could really happen.
On the
Yeah.
dude side, Hunter, like you said, Sandy probably is another good one. I like Kent for this too. Same kind of
Sandy for the
things.
drama piece, like and
Gotta have
perform-
Sandy
yeah.
for the drama piece. Like I said, Kent looks great, cries on camera.
Yep.
Alex won a world championship
Alex.
and is always top 2, if not, like, got to be on there.
And yeah,
So
and
then who's the 5th one if we pick 5? Not Rich Ryan. Boring.
not me. I'll be in some episodes. They can't keep me out of this show. I'll be there.
No, they'll show you and Kent training together, and so then they'll get you on camera a lot. But they'll also
Renaissance
ask,
coach,
they'll also
content
ask-
creation,
Renaissance.
With
Renaissance
Meg,
man.
RMR,
They'll show you
the
with
3
those
of them.
people. They'll show you guys running. and
I'm getting
then
I'm getting at least one like sit down.
But then they're going to ask you about them.
They're not going to
You'll
ask
be
me
like-
about me. No. Yes.
The thing about Kent is, right? The thing about Meg is,
Exactly. And that's fine. I accept this position.
just like I will accept if they use Jack instead of me. Alex,
Yeah. I'll mention you. Feel like HFM.
They need to have
Let's go.
open. I would love to see the audition tape. They bring you guys both in and got to pick one of you.
That would be.
I don't know.
We're going.
These
third
guys
party.
share. These guys share no characteristics. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
All right. Who's
Jake-
our 5th?
JK.
Travels the world or has more than anybody.
He's so in. He's probably more in on HYROX than anybody else. He like relocated to be in
And-
HYROX, so just
and
to
I
show
think-
how serious people are about it.
and-
And he's
and
done
I
so
think-
well.
In terms of like performance, it's always good when you have that person who's like just on the edge, like he just missed making top 5 to guarantee getting all the major every single time, basically. And
broke
then he
through
ends up
big
getting
time.
3rd at Worlds. He'd be a good storyline.
We got the plumber coming. Can you guys hear Carl right now?
A little only because you mentioned it.
Not bad. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Carl doesn't. He doesn't mess with.
Maybe Carl gets
Strangers.
Carl gets an appearance.
That would be. He doesn't just show up for free.
He'll be the HYROX hot dog.
But yeah, I think JK. Is there anyone else in that? I mean, Dylan would be a good one, of course, because he's
Yeah.
just like interesting. And
Magida in the med tent.
Magida would be like me. He would have he would have like some. He would have something to say.
Magida would find a way to be on this show.
He would be in it for sure.
It'd be in it, yeah.
He's not gonna figure out a way as an athlete, a commentator, right?
He will be. He might be the.
Who am I kidding? That's who's gonna be the talking head. Who am I kidding?
That's true. Yeah, you guys are both out. You guys are
too
both
close. He's already in the fucking ecosystem. He's HYROX 365, which no one can define.
You guys are out. You guys are out. Makida's in.
So question also. So
hey honey, real quick, sorry, this could be very on brand. Hey honey, I'm guessing you didn't. I texted you too late.
I hit my mute button, and instead
Matt doesn't know.
Matt just keeps it going.
Like, I don't
hit
know.
My mute button for Carl that you can't hear.
It's embarrassing.
Matt's out here talking about.
That's Rich has this dog barking. Matt
what
can't
they got at the grocery
conversation
store
on mute.
Listen, I have the best wife ever. She texted me, "Should I bring you home a nice coffee?" And the rule is with either
Sounds
one
like
of
needs.
if you think,
How much liquid? What just happened?
Anyway.
What did?
broke a glass.
Oh,
yeah. Couldn't even hear.
Spilled everywhere.
Couldn't even hear
Anyway,
it. Now he needs that iced coffee.
Yeah.
The rule is even if the person doesn't answer, you just get it just in case. But she did.
Yeah.
But she broke the rule. So back to Spartan U.S. National Series where this all began.
Very direct transition. Yeah.
So this was the last stop, and the final standings for the U.S. National Series. Hold on, I had this up, and then I went rogue trying to find our guy. What was our guy's name?
Competitive year. You know, you had 5 women. 7 women went to all 5 races, all 3 races.
4, right? So Ethan Brown won on the men's side with 48 points. Dustin Needham finished second with 31, and Tyler Powers finishing in third. Then we had a tie for 4th. On the women's side, Casey Monroe took the win. Julie Best was in second. Jordan Haas-Layden was in third, and Vivian.
How do you say the name, by the way?
Jack?
Rich is Mr. Pronunciation. I'm going with him.
This sounds German, and I'm out here. Me in Germany, because that's why I'm going to be in this documentary series.
Yeah. Rich is going to be
Matt hit us with
talking with Palaio. Like Palaio would be a good person because he's multilingual. Although I'm assuming like Alex and plenty of others are because they're not American and they actually have different culture over there.
What's your German word, Matt?
See what's going on over here.
It's too late. What's your German word, Matt? Isn't it like super or something or like ridiculous? What is it?
It's Ausgescheißnig.
What does it mean?
It means excellent.
Excellent.
Perfect. Yeah.
So
back to the standings. Rich, you didn't read how many points Casey had?
Casey had 57, Julie Best had 45, and Jordan had 40.
So my problem with this is Annie Doobie won 2 races, which earned her 23 points apiece. So those 2, even though she didn't add up to Utah, she still had 46 points. But they're like, you didn't show up to Utah with your bad ankle, so you can't get prize money. That to me,
hot call too, right?
Hot call, yeah. 46 because he won 2 of them.
So the dude who finished in 15th, Tyler Powers, he ended up with 15 points, which is the equivalent of 1 6th place finish.
And an 18th and a 13th. I documented all this on observation.
Yeah. Well, Rich is saying for a
I'm
solo
saying
race.
with one race. Like that would be like if anybody showed
23,
up
21, 19, 18, 17, 16.
So this is just how they chose to do it. You need to have 3 races for the total series for any of your points to count. So here's
the big problem, guys. Here's the big problem.
What's the problem?
The Zendesk, as it read, which I put prior to this race, right? I wrote I'm just going to read it. All national series of 2 more races will use a simple point system to rank racers. The racer with the most points in their respective category at the end of the series will be the series winner. So one could say, well, this doesn't say that you have to do all 3 races. It also doesn't not say that. So there's a problem in the writing, but whoever all these fucking athletes should have gotten clear, right? But I finally wrote, because I had heard rumors that you did have to do. So I wrote this guy, Jesse, who is the new guy. We can have a longer conversation about this later, but Chris Maltby was in charge. He made all these changes, including this. that all the series were going to be the same in every country, no matter what the size of the country. It's all going to be 3, or unless they can only have 2, and you must do all 3. And this new point system, which is also different than the previous years, right? Somebody should have said, hey, do I need to do all 3? And then gotten the answer. I wrote and said, do you have to do all 3? I wrote the Sky Jetty, and he said, yes, sorry, the Zendesk should have been updated sooner.
Because I'm looking at it right now.
So it's on y'all for not fucking. It's just like when these races don't give away money, and I'm like, I'm the one that finally reports it, and they're like, well, you guys should have asked.
Or when people plan their season around how to qualify to get into a 3K in Seattle because it's on the Zendesk, and then they go to Big Bear, and then it turns out there's no Seattle 3K, even though it's on the Zendesk.
I'm looking at this,
Jack. What are you trying to say, Jack?
I don't know. Maybe me, Sean Roberts, and a few other people went to Big Bear because of a potential redemption at a 3K that doesn't exist anymore. No, it was on it as of the morning after the race, and it's like, thanks, guys.
So who changed it? Did you change it?
I don't touch that Zendesk.
It's like a Wikipedia.
No, but I'm saying, did you ask and they went whoops, and then they went back and changed it?
Yes, basically.
I'm looking at the Zendesk right now, and they must have amended it since you brought this up.
No, they did.
Because it says participation in 3 races with an asterisk are mandatory.
Right. And I specifically said, could Annie show up and just not go anywhere and like just walk off the course? And he said yes.
Yes, it says that.
That is so dumb.
Participation in 3 races are mandatory, quote, not necessarily finished, end quote, to be part of the National Series overall rankings and eligible for prize money.
Well, they made Lindsay go to West Virginia and she didn't even race. Remember that?
Obi, same deal. He just had to show up to one of them.
You have to show up. So you're going to force these people to, even if you pay for their flights, you're going to force them to leave their houses just to show up. Here's the good news, fellas. Here's the good news. Okay. Chris Maltby no longer works there. Things appear to be in the works of changing things. For example, I asked Jesse, do you think we'll go back to best of 3 to 5 next year? This is off the record. I mean, it's not off the record. It's just unofficial.
Now it's on it.
Yeah.
It looks that way is the point. It's looking to be that way. I'd also heard other rumblings that now you could blame it on Chris, but you could also say, why would a company let one man change all this stuff? Get rid of the 3K, which was just starting to get ground. Make all the countries the same, even though all countries aren't the same side. Like all these changes happened, not inside of a bubble, but there was no one above him to go, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
So,
so the next piece, why would we think it would be better when they put people in charge that make these decisions that are just not sensical?
Well, what if I told you one of those people was in fact Dave Watson? Dave Watson is back in the fold. So I think he's the one who actually did a pretty decent job with a lot of the stuff compared to these new changes. He really understood the sport.
We didn't know how good we had it.
Well,
he gets crap, but he's not bad. Like,
well, I don't think he should be in the entire part of a Spartan Games documentary. There should be more about it. But there was our Drive to Survive.
Yep, there we go.
But like this idea of the pace groups and changing how people love age group. You don't need to fucking change it. Like, I think that's coming back. So a lot of dumb changes that they let one guy make. And I like Chris as a person, but these were not good changes.
When I look at this and if I didn't know all the information that you just put out, Matt, about
that's why you have me on the show. You guys, Bracken doesn't even care about the sport. He doesn't listen to any podcasts. He doesn't know anything. Jack and I know everything. You should have me on with Jack more.
Bracken's too busy watching Formula One Kids Edition with the
we're just formulating opinions.
Right. Didn't even mention that. Bracken's out there trying to get the next fucking Lewis fucking and Clark.
He's a hillbilly at this point, basically. Go karts.
So if I was to look at this without knowing this information, I would look at the series and try to understand why it was structured like this. And like, is it on purpose that they don't want athletes to show up? Or is it more on the arrogance side, how they've shown in the past, where they think that it's the only show in town? So if people show up, but
that's the thing. If you think you're going to get the best racers to show up for no money, just for series money, because that's the other piece he did, right? To make it even everywhere, we'll just give money away at the end of the series, and that's where the money came from. By the way, when your race happened, right? Is they decided to put that. Forget the fact that they owe money. Forget the fact that they don't pay people still forever. Just on a series alone, I'm going to have to travel for 3 races just to try to win some money at the end of the series is not a good look. Unless that money was so big unless it was a $1 million prize pot. Like,
Mhm.
fuck, I'm going to travel for that.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's not arrogance. That's just like Chris didn't understand the sport, I don't think.
And let's not forget that they made race 1 of their mandatory series a race in which literally everybody good in the sport, except for a handful, went over to Saudi Arabia in
Matt was there
Alula.
too.
Yeah, Matt was there. Yeah, and who's going to be able to complete a series with 3 mandatory events if everyone's over at one of the other ones? It was just
Now that's the
no
one
oversight.
that's one that is a little not quite their fault though, because Alula was its own thing. So I
I
think
know, but they could have done, hey, let's do Palm Beach in April instead of February in Jacksonville like we
again,
always
the
do.
only problem is, again, I'll give them a little grace, is if you make a deal, this is in our series, sponsored by Jacksonville Tourism, all that stuff is it kind of it makes it a little bit tricky. But yes, it was just not good luck that happened. But people that went to Jacksonville didn't go to the other two. So it's
Yeah,
not,
right.
it makes a difference. Right.
If you want excitement next year, if this best 3 of 5 that you mentioned is coming back, do not do Utah, Big Bear, and Jacksonville for the 7th time.
What would
It's
you
gonna happen surely, but
right? What would you think they're going to do?
I
First of
would
all,
guess those
where's the home of
3
OCR, by the way? Where's
Jacksonville.
the okay, right. So that's got to happen, right? And then early in the year, February, and then you're racing for championships in October, November,
Yeah.
December.
They need to get West Virginia, which is universally respected. They need to get Killington. Just switch it up a little bit. Get a random. I don't even care if it's the Cincinnati race or something. I'd do it if it was Fort Carson, and I hate that race. But just do somewhere new so people want to travel there.
I would almost bet Big Bear, and yeah,
I know that it's
they
clearly
love
going
those
to be
places.
Minus 500,
Minus 2,000.
minus 2,000.
Whoa, that's some big odds.
Yeah, that might take the other one.
Might need to call 1-800 gambling.
I might fade that. So yeah, I don't know.
The problem that we've had, Matt, and Bracken's mentioned this, and Rich as well, we can't put into perspective like how good Hawk's performance has been this year because we don't have the full field. We don't know how dominant was Lauren's performance because we don't have the full field. And of course, Chris is injured. Lindsay just had a baby. Like you're going to have people who don't show up for various outside of the series structure stupid reasons.
Are they ever going to come back because they're all owed money? Are they ever going to come back?
I know that. Yeah. But what I was saying is let's pretend that wasn't in the circumstance. You're going to have a few people who don't do it every single year. People just drop off. It's just part of sport eventually. But it's a shame that you don't have that comparison on how dominant some of the performances were.
Well, I almost posted a meme that was a picture of Hawk and Hobie and said, Joe DeSena and Spartan race screwing the Call family for 12 plus years. I think I did send it to you.
I didn't get that.
I maybe sent it to you just as a quote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. And it's not even like people say it's not about the money. It's always about the money. It's the idea of how it makes you feel, right? So if people like Ashley Heller or whoever, it's not just that they're owed money. It's that why would I give your brand, or even if you're the only game in town, like how can I show up there? Even though my friends are there, even though I do get something out of it physically and whatever else, right? And then meanwhile, you've got this guy, the CEO, out there fucking posting videos of a snack detection dog for kids and like thinking he's like really tough. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like that's why people don't go. It's not just the $300 they might win, right?
We talked about it on a different Race Brain episode where it's the prestige factor. It's like HYROX. There's a reason why so many people want to qualify. Look at Rich, like the whole past season. It means something to make that Elite 15, regardless of the potential, a little bit of money. Yeah, you got a nice shirt.
No one else has this shirt.
Nope.
Well, 14 other people have this shirt.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say 30 total, but that's it.
No,
but
my name on it.
It means something.
I got one of Graham Holiday shirts. I don't know.
A lot of race headbands from the pro team and Graham Holiday shirt. You've got some exclusive memorabilia there.
Though, I lose one like every year, so it's starting to.
Yeah.
I had a shirt that I took off during the race and just like tossed it. Couldn't find it after the race. I'm guessing that's going to pop up on
eBay.
Some kind of
to buy it back.
Some kind of
memorabilia. That's what happened with Graham. Graham had left it in the kind of like the.
You were the one out there scrounging around.
Well, I texted him. I was like, "Are you still in town?" And he's like, "I am not still in town. Can I wear it?"
You don't have a Scottish accent for that? Come on, bro.
I did that already. I can't do it anymore.
You got to work on it. You can do it.
Yeah. But
I
anyway,
believe in you.
back to OCR real quick. It's like if the prestige factor is gone, and how are they going to get it back is the biggest issue, and I don't know if it's solvable in 1 year.
Question for you, Jack. In terms of, and again, it's hard to know how it's all going to compare, but where in line for like competitive factor, if there's like a number you could put on it,
Depth of field.
where would you stick this? Would this be like the first season of Spartan? Like where would this field line up historically in the
This
years
is
of Spartan?
probably a 2012
When did
on the
BK
men's
get
side.
that? When did
Women's is more. Yeah, this is a BK year. Like Chris Brown is Chris Brown. Hawk Call is dominant no matter who shows up. Balaam Bean, Beast in the
He's very
Mountains.
good.
Isaac
Yeah.
Sanderson, we know how legit he is at this point.
The men's field was good.
Yeah. And like
I
Ethan
would say it's a
Brown will probably be-
2012. I would say it's a 2012. I would say it's a 2012 regional race.
Wow.
better than
that.
better than that.
2012.
Just because you had three really good guys doesn't take away from the fact the rest of the men's field and most of the women's field is pretty, like, you could show up and win a regional race pretty easily.
In Big Bear, you also had Manuel Defoe come over. You also had Sean Roberts stick his name in there.
I
Like,
thought we were just talking about the Utah race.
I thought you were
just
talking about the season
entire
as a
field.
whole.
Entire field.
Yeah.
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 If this
Okay, so the entire season,
Who's
yeah.
been racing this year? 2012, I would say.
North American.
So yeah,
let's keep it to North America too.
15, 16. Is that what you're saying? More like 15, 16? Jack, if you said a BK year, is that 15, 16?
No, 2012 is when he he got those 2 podiums at Killington.
The whole season is 2012?
Yeah, I'd say that this is comparable depth. Like Ethan Brown's probably about Elliot
the whole
McGuire
season?
level,
Okay.
and we've got a Hawk. Realistically, is pretty close to Hobie level.
He's Hobie.
Like, yeah. Like you've got about that much depth.
Shout out to Chris Bob
So
Brown on these
who's-
results.
Who's been around since 2010 in OCR, longest active.
Who's that? Me? You?
Chris Brown.
KBB. He
predates Mappy Davis runs.
has his hometown as United States of America. Just shout out to
Yeah,
that man.
Patriot.
Great American, Chris Bob
Yep.
Brown.
He's
That
from, I happen to
name
know he
just
lives
sounds
in,
American.
I happen to know he lives in Montana.
Missoula.
He's in Montana.
Missoula, not Missoula.
Where's he from originally
Missoula.
though? He's a Midwest East
Barbara or
Coast guy,
something,
right?
or-
I think he lived there.
Okay.
He did that
Strikes
Malibu Spartan in 2010.
Yeah.
He strikes me more of a Midwest fellow, but maybe wrong. Could be wrong.
But so that's the men's side. On the women's side, I think that it is actually a pretty competitive field still. Like we've had Annie, in terms of like the next pack, it's about pretty similar to a few years ago.
What year?
Probably like a 2016, 2017, I'd say.
Who was winning then? Was that when it was like
That was
the
the
Big Five
five-headed
or whatever?
monster. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Fab Five. Like you don't have that, but I'm talking in terms of like rest of the depth. Like you had Leanne Wastony, Amelia was sort of hanging on. Rose was pregnant in 2016, but like she's still around. Annie would have been top 5 no matter what era she was in. Lauren is ridiculous. Casey, we've seen she's got 6th or 7th at World Champs before. Like
in good
we
years.
have good names. Yeah.
In good years.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to do with this national series.
I think it'll be better next year.
I agree.
It'll be not all the way back because of the money situation. Because, spoiler alert, I don't know that they'll ever catch up. They've paid some people, right? They haven't not paid people, but the timeline is the gap isn't closing. You see what I'm saying?
There's people who are never going to get paid at this point.
Well, no, I think they'll get paid, but there are some still old ones out there. Like
Nick Mask hasn't been paid since Slow in
2022.
2022.
right. But
Like,
and here's the other part
what?
that really matters. The part that really matters is if you're not constantly writing them and a pain in their ass, then you definitely won't see it. So it's not just like, oh, they've caught up most of these people. It's like, why Chris is never going to come back because Chris isn't even going to write them anymore. Chris is like, whatever, moving on with my life. And I've talked to, I won't name them, but I've talked to other people that are like, it's only $1,000 and I don't care. I'm just going to not do their races. And to me, like, you owe me $1,000, I'm up your ass, right? But some people are just like, I don't care. I do it for fun, whatever. So that's the bigger problem, that there's just not like, that's why when Joe in August of last year said, oh, we'll definitely be caught up by May of 24, I was like, okay, in May of 24, I'm pretty sure he's going to say something else. And he did. When these athletes do bother to write him. So it's not like he just goes, cool, let me send you to accounting and let's take care of it, which is what you would do if you really fucking cared. So anyway, I think that the series itself will be a better layout and better points. I think all that will get fixed. And maybe they can slowly rebuild the, what do you call it? The prestige that you're talking about. Because there'll be newer people that haven't done it. Maybe
they had the chance to do it with like the gated system this year, but it was such a terrible gated system in order to get to these races. Like if you made it so that only a certain amount of people get to race in here and you're paying athletes and you have new exciting venues, then you might see some people show up again. But
you had to have done another race just to qualify.
Like I couldn't have done
Rich
any of
couldn't
these
have
races.
done one. What has Rich done to prove himself through the year? Plenty.
I could mix it up. I could have gotten like at least an 8th,
7th
in this Utah field, no doubt. Let me just double check that.
I want to know. I know it's different every year, but if you compare your old finishing time, Rich, to the today's.
Oh, Matt, you lost credibility when you're comparing year to year finishing times. What are you doing?
Was that my HYROX?
What are you talking about? You're the guy that's like, that person did really well for about 4 miles.
You're saying, oh,
you're great.
This year in Utah, I ran a 240, but last year I ran a 220. That you can't do that.
I'm just for the
of course,
sake
it's always different.
I'll be top 3.
Be top 3 based on your time?
No.
Given Balin being that work.
I would say that I could, but I wouldn't necessarily want to go out.
Bracken would say he's got the capacity to win the fucking thing, but let's be honest. Let's be realistic.
No, BK, he'd be
Jack,
like,
how would you have done in this race? Jack Bauer. Okay.
Me in this race, I would say
when you look at the finishers, where do you put yourself?
6 or 7. I'd be right there with Ethan Brown.
Okay. And who's after that?
Al Gonzalez,
Lauren
Mike
Weeks,
Mansfield, Mike Higuera.
Yeah.
You would have beaten the first woman, and that's about it.
Which isn't a gimme in OCR.
That's kind of like the litmus test right there.
I'd probably be. I don't know. I don't know what Isaac's got on these climbs, but there was a big gap between him and Balin. I think I could roll with Isaac for this duration.
And what about a non-mountain, like a regular-ish Spartan?
Rich can do that work.
I'm okay. I mean, this is an altitude mountain race, which is I'd be more prepared for now.
Absolutely.
Living in Colorado.
Rich also won a West Virginia race the same weekend as the National Series. So
Saturday, a Sunday. I'm sorry, Super.
Hey, no. You won a race the same weekend as a prestigious race.
Who did he beat?
Damn right.
Who'd you beat?
Logan was in that race. Mark Audette started that race.
He didn't want any part of Rich. He's like, I'm dropping.
He was out of there. Makita, same thing.
Probably like Brent Trail.
Well, I mean, I hate to be the one to say this, but if you're not really that good at HYROX, maybe you should think about going back over to Spartan.
Who's not really that good?
Yeah.
I mean,
who are you talking about? Huh?
I mean, you are good at the stepping over the box thing. I've seen you do that.
In legal to the standard. I don't know, man. Deka might not be it.
Ultra. Let's not shit on Spartan anymore. Let's talk about Deka Ultra. That's more fun.
Let's go over to Deka instead.
I just wanted to give one more shout out in the Spartan race. Second place, Lisa Masakio. She has won 11 of her past 13 races, and I feel like she would have been a breakthrough athlete this year, and it stinks that it got robbed from her because of the times that we're in for OCR. And Hawk Call obviously got robbed as well. Just there's no attention to it.
Real quick, what is there someone you would compare her to? Is there like a comp, a 2017 or a 2019 comp?
Should be Casey Monroe here, which is good. I don't know if Casey's in as good a form as she's been in the past, but
a couple of years ago, Casey got 6th or 7th at Abu Dhabi World Championship, just saying, and she's always consistently in like that 4 to 7 range at National Series races.
What was the name you mentioned before, Jack? The woman who's like in
Leanne
Idaho. Yes.
That
Is that a
could be
comp?
pretty. Yeah, I'd say so. I
Which
mean, she
adds
was
to
right
good
behind,
depth. Yeah.
right behind Rose at Big Bear. Also, like I think that Lisa's legit, and I feel bad for her. I think Chris Brown, like doing 2 races, he doesn't want to back down from anybody, and he's like, I have never seen anybody take off like Hawk Hall. And if Hawk didn't have 19 miles of mountain running from the day before, he could have won by 15 minutes, not 5. So
If I said to you, Jack, I'll get you some PTO off work and we can do a 5-hour top 100 of all time, men and women for Spartan, would you do that podcast with me?
would you bring anything to the table on it? I'm just kidding. Oh, it's
Did you
instead
even
of
hear that, Rich?
yeah.
I zoned out.
I don't want to just be naming out stats. Maybe we could do that sometime. Actually, yeah.
I said, Jack Bauer, would you like to do a 5-hour top 100 men and women of OCR podcast? And
That sounds amazing.
Jack Bauer, what did you say?
I said, would you bring anything to the table? Meaning any data.
Wow.
That's what I meant, not discussion point. I phrased it rudely. I admit that.
Mean.
Yeah.
Matt accuses me of being mean, but Jack's over here just killing you today.
Sometimes
Rich
I
is
can
low
be.
key a dick most of the time. Real
I'm-
quickly,
I'm from the East
Patreon, by
Coast.
the way. Are we live for the patrons?
All of us are.
No, we're
Yeah.
not.
Oh, not this week. Yeah.
I'm from the East Coast. I'm from Boston, and
You're
you're
not. You went.
way
You're
meaner
from.
than me.
You're from.
What age did you move to Atlanta, Matt?
Yeah.
Listen, motherfucker.
That's not what I asked.
I moved to Atlanta at age 8, but you can't take that out of me.
Yeah.
I moved back in the late 90s. All right. I was there for the fucking Warp Tour. I was there for the first Patriots. The first craft Super Bowl team that got their ass kicked
My guy's
In
from the
'97
southeast.
against the Packers.
against the Packers.
If
Yeah.
you were from Mass, you wouldn't say I was mean. You would say I was a normal guy.
Yeah, Rich is a stereotypical from the area, and he's from
Yeah,
Philly.
'cause he
so
Yeah,
I was
you were
born,
the
and I was
big-
born in Mass.
my
I
birth
was there till
certificate.
3.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Mansfield, right around Foxborough.
Mansfield. Okay. Yeah.
Go Piats.
Yeah.
Just
That's
kidding.
horrible.
That
Just
was-
kidding, Dave.
Yeah.
Just kidding. They
Matt,
stink.
I could do that sometime. Maybe it would be like a multi-part thing. Did you see ESPN just did that? They had their top 100 athletes of the century.
Really
They just came out with their list.
of this century.
Yeah, only including stats that have happened since 2000. So like if you had a career that
I say
ends-
the century is like 19,
I know
20,
first 25 years of the century, including 2000. So like if you were, for instance, they had Shaq on the list, but like they're not including his stats when he was in 98, 99 doing well. It was like only since then. But
Who was number one?
who do you think? Who
Is
should
it men
be?
and women?
MJ?
Both genders combined. No, MJ, he was on the Wizards at that point. Like, no.
Oh, this century?
Yeah. Only since 2000.
Is it
Okay,
Tommy
no-
touchdown, dude?
Number 1.
Tommy Touchdown was number 5, which I was like, are you kidding me? That's bad.
So Brady was 5.
Number 5.
1,
What about Bolt?
Usain Bolt, he was like number 8 or 9. He was in right around the top 10, but
what about Jeter?
no, he
Come
was
on, bro.
just far back.
Come on,
Okay.
bro. All right, 2 more guesses each.
Yep.
Top athlete of the. I think
What?
LeBron.
He was, I think, number 2 or number 3, just outside there.
No, we gotta say a female.
Number
Messi?
2 was a woman.
Oh, soccer. Good
He's
call.
number 1 Messi. That's what I want to know.
Messi was, I think he was 4. I'm gonna pull up the list just to verify, but I remember.
With
Why
like
aren't we
a-
live to the patrons? I thought that's the one thing you were doing for the patrons.
I know. We stopped. we can do it. Well, now it's a
Okay.
different time. We're all screwed
all
up
right.
this week.
Number 5 Brady.
Serena.
All right, 5 Brady, 4 LeBron, 3 Messi, 2 Serena. Number 1, Michael Phelps.
Tiger?
Oh, Phelps, of course.
Yeah, 28-time Olympic medalist.
Doing that because this was an Olympic year.
But that's
Bullshit.
because you're allowed to have different strokes and stuff. If you had like backwards running also and like sideways running, different.
It's like he won medals in a variation of like the same thing. It was like 50
Yeah.
meters of this, like just I don't know.
that's what I'm saying.
It's not matchable by a
if you are the
track
best,
athlete.
he
can't
was
do
the
it.
best for 4 separate Olympic. Like that reign of dominance is pretty.
That's
impressive regardless. But
Give him top 10.
But it's like you can do that in swimming. You can't do that.
can't do that in
running.
any
You
other
can't
sport.
Yeah.
Even
You
like
can only win
gymnastics.
1 Super Bowl per year. Like you can't win 4 Super Bowls in a year to add to your title, for instance.
All
Like,
right.
Congrats.
Here's top 10 athletes if you're just from Boston. All right. Fucking Larry Bird, fucking Noma, fucking Tom Brady, fucking
Nomar.
Gronk.
Yeah.
You got to get
Everyone's
like
got
a
the same
Chara.
first name if you're
Get a
from
Chara
Massachusetts.
in there.
It's crazy.
Who? Who'd you say?
Chara, the hockey player.
Who?
Chara?
Chara.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's like, what?
Chara, dude.
I think Ortiz, Pedro, Ted Williams, you'd put those
Fucking
three.
Big Poppy.
Bobby Orr,
Let's
Phil
fucking go, Bobby
Esposito.
Orr.
Yeah. Some people already put Tatum on there, which is hilarious, but no,
Jason Tatum?
not yet.
I mean, he's got a
Not
championship
yet.
now.
Not yet. Bill Russell, you have to put him ahead of Tatum. Like, I know he was
course.
facing
Bill
the
Russell's
plumber
like
that's
he's
fixing Rich's house right now. But
Listen, I love the Celtics are back. I love Tatum, but you gotta win a couple titles. You gotta keep it going. Easy to win one. Easy to win. You gotta defend.
yeah. Anyway, got distracted for the 11th time this episode.
But Matt needs to. If Matt
should
was
we
from
move?
Mass, you'd have.
Yeah.
I'd be a normal guy instead of a mean person.
Super
a mean
fucking-
man.
Raise your hand if you think Rich Ryan's mean.
Philly
No,
is
that's
more
gonna
mean.
move the camera.
Philly's probably more mean than Boston. You
You
softies.
see what they did to Santa?
Softies up there.
Yeah.
It's not working. On to DEKAFIT, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The regular fit results first. On the women's side, Morgan Schulz takes a W in 34.03.
2-day weekend. That's what we're
2-day
going over
weekend.
the-
We're on
we're going
Saturday
over the
right now, the
fit
regular
only.
fit.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nichols ended up second, 36-14. Bethany McChesney of OFX was 37-12. On the men's side, stacked field here. Dylan Scott in 29-31. Nick Riker in 30-44. Cole Walkington in 31-19. All three were in the elite race at Worlds last year, correct?
correct. Yep.
Hayden Warner ended up 32-03. And yeah, so not a bad result.
Well, there was like a 32.03, a 32.04, a 32.08. There are 32 lows is a very difficult place to be right now.
Alexander
And that's where I'm at.
Raktovich. I saw this and thought it was Ronkovic. I was like,
14,
I was like, Ronko's out here?
He's like a 1445K guy. Just graduated from college a year ago.
Oh, nice. Great. So he could be legit. Adam Beach, we've seen.
Yep.
Austin Tenelshoff, it was 33 flat, basically 32
with an
52.
injury.
Oh, did you know that Rontovich is part of a power couple? Did you know that?
No, you got some.
All his accounts?
No,
Oh.
I do, but
You guys
I
are
guess
so bad at this. It's like you're so seriously. Jack, I know is serious. You and Bracken are just like, Jack, what happened this week? We don't fucking know.
what happened?
It's kind of what
Jack, you might want to do. Jack, you might be the Shannon Sharp of this show. You might want to break off and find out that people love you.
I dare you.
Yeah,
Matt's out here.
I'm not doing that. Matt,
Matt's
this is
out
your
here
last episode. Enjoy your milk.
I'm giving you props. I'm saying you're
I'm messing with you,
show.
Matt.
He's trying.
All
He's trying to
Matt,
split up the group.
we need this TMZ.
Don't even
rant.
try
We
it, Jack.
finally start talking about Deka, and Matt's like, "All right, did you hear about this person's relationship?" So
Right.
Let's go. Go, Matt.
You know I don't like being called TMZ. You know that hurts my feelings.
I know.
You're the master of whisperers. Better.
Listen, just shut up. I'm trying to pull it up. Pull up. How do you spell his name again?
You can't pause us and not have the info ready like this. Come on.
Just because I forgot already. Because I don't really care.
RONCEVIC.
There you go. RON. Ronkovic comes up. C. Still Ronkovic.
God, if I need I'm gonna try to find this before.
Is it
you. This is
RONT?
embarrassing.
Here we go. Nope. I can't find him.
All right,
So-
right away I typed in RON and it's there. I do not see
This is terrible.
anything that would imply Matt that you just wasted our time.
So Deka. So as Matt's
I can pull
looking-
it up because you don't see it. RONT.
Alexander.RONCEVIC.
Alexander. Yeah, you left that part out.
I typed in RONC and it popped up right away.
So we're gonna go over the global
Jeez.
leaderboard real quick. Dylan Scott takes over the top spot with his 29-31. Isaac Sanderson's 29-41, and Riker's still there with that 30-18 from a couple weeks back.
Yep.
On the women's side, I mean, this is a great time for Morgan. Morgan last year at this race ran 34-30, and we saw how well she was able to close out the season
on our way to a title
with that championship title there. So that sticks her in fifth now, just behind Tara Jackson, and jumps in front of Jess Petro and Munsta Zero?
She's
Zero?
won 3 or 4 races over in Spain through the years. She's pretty
35-0.
solid.
35
But
O's
her
solid.
times, it's really interesting. Like one time she'll do like a 39, and then the next time she'll do a 35 flat, and the next time she'll do 37. It's very variable.
So the fourth
Very
picture
variable.
that jumps out at, and you're going to tell me you didn't see that? You're blind.
What?
Who's that?
Who are you looking at? This isn't
That's not
Ronco, is it?
That's not the fourth picture. What are you talking about?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, fourth picture on Alex Radovich.
Oh, you're not talking about Ronco.
No, we were talking Ronkovic, the HYROX world champion.
We're talking about Alex Radovich. I said he's part of a power couple. Did you
I
know
didn't,
who?
I didn't
Morgan
know.
Schultz, if that's the case, probably.
Yes. Why
Yeah.
would I be talking about Ronco wasn't there?
You said Alex Ronkovic like multiple times, and I feel like spelling out RONC doesn't sound like RAT.
Because I forgot his name. I thought his name was
Okay,
name
all right.
like NCT or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, power couple out there. I love it.
Sweet.
You shouldn't have me back on. That just ruined the whole show.
That was a confusing exchange.
That was real bad.
I would say
We've been
that was a
confused in the
confusing
past.
exchange.
How can you compare times though when every carpet's different?
When the sled, sometimes they set it at 3, sometimes they set it at 7. Who knows what that sled's going to be when you get to that lane? But then at the end, everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah.
Complain enough to Deka, you just get a win. All right, so let's move on to the Ultra. This was a fun event that happened first time ever. 5 back-to-back DEKAFITs. We highlighted Dyan Scott's name for this Ultra race, and he delivered.
Destroyed it.
Absolutely delivered. He took the win in 2:42.31. Mark Paulzine 2:57.18. Hayden Warner was 2:59.39, and then we had Joe Rucco and Grady Jackson running out the top 5. On the women's end, Brooklyn Nichols came back and ran 3:19.23. Lauren Rentala ended up second. Janelle Teal, Heather White, and Bethany McChesney here. So let's talk about Dyan first, because these splits are crazy. Did you look at these, Jack?
Yeah, I've got some stats for you. This is
sub 33 each lap, correct?
Except for his last one.
Yeah, he was 33.21.
And he's probably chilling out at that point.
Unreal. Yeah.
So he wins he would beat the DEKAFIT world champion on the female side 5 times back to back.
Lauren went 31.58.
She's not the world champion.
You're right. Morgan.
Hello.
Go on.
Some respect on that name. By
no,
the way,
you're right.
Morgan, I
You're
want to
right.
quickly say Morgan was not happy with her previous time and was pretty mad at herself, and she came back and did it. So
Crushed
shout out
it.
Morgan.
Yeah,
Good job, Morgan. Now she's got a qualifying time.
She's been all by herself in both of these races, basically from the jump. So she's able to push really hard to get that 34.0, which is a really good time for this point of the year.
Where do you have her in the rankings, by the way?
12?
Gotta be up there.
Jack, what do you got? You got
Morgan?
yours?
I've got Morgan normally like right around 10. So.
Yeah, 12 right now.
Yeah.
All right. HYROX fall about to kick in. Toronto, Chicago.
Yeah.
Hometown race in Chicago. I'm pulling for Morgan. Big Morgan fan. Everything.
So I've got some stats for you, Rich. Can I do a screen share?
Yes, hold on.
All right. So I wouldn't consider myself a superstar, but I'm good enough to get into Worlds. So Dyan Scott, you guys see this stats right here?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I've run 9 DEKA races in my life, and I looked at my 5 fastest, and they add up to 2:41.04.
Oh my God.
And I've made Worlds both of the times, like 11th and 14th. I'm not, like I said, I'm probably like the litmus test on, are you good enough to make Worlds? And he went 2:42.30 back to back to back to back to back. Like he averaged a 32.30 on 5 straight races. That is unreal. And if you look at the whatchamacallit, how far behind he was after each lap, after 4 laps, if you add my 4 best times, he would only been 34 seconds behind me. Like I can't even fathom this. And there are a lot of people who are in that 32, 31 high range. But cumulatively only 86 seconds behind, and that includes pit stops, That includes getting food and just being
Yeah, he might have
tired from
been
the
to the
previous.
bathroom. Jack, if someone sent me this
Mhm.
and said, I guess who it's from, not just because of the stats, but I know this is your font, Jack. If I saw a table like this with your font, I'm like,
Big
oh, this is
time.
Jack
This is
Bauer.
me.
You've left
That's
your
what it is.
signature on the world. You've left your fingerprint on the world.
That's what I do.
Brand.
Yeah. Yep. Gotta make it easy to follow.
Is there a
But
name for this font, by the way?
I think it's just Calibri. So
But it's in this
oh
way.
yeah, no, I do like reports like this for my job, and I just kind of have always done them this way. So I don't know. Been doing this for like 15 years for this
So
type of style.
Dylan's fastest. So Dylan on the sled push and pull was 2 flat, 211, 2 flat, 208, 209. And on
Those are
Deka,
fast.
yeah, those are fast. And on DEKAFIT, he was 212. Too many settings on these new sleds.
Really, you think so? I mean, I was joking earlier about the carpet, but you think so?
Something. I mean, there is a variability when it comes to sleds a little bit, like how well they slide on the concrete, but it should have been the same surface. But for him to push it faster in 5 straight, I mean, maybe it just has to do with your level of being of fatigue at this thing that you could factor in for that, and you came into this a little bit more fresh because he's not all the way jacked up. But no, those are definitely. I mean, they're just so consistent all the way through.
Yeah. I mean, his first one he went out in 32:02.
The women's are fine. The women's aren't crazy.
Yeah. Looking at Dylan's splits though, they look pretty normal across the board for
Yeah.
like the rest of the like his lunges 45 to 47 seconds, his row. I actually talked to them and he said that his rows were like 140 or 150. His skis were 153 for time on the display, not getting in it. So like 6-7 seconds getting in and out. And I never used watts, but he was 440 watts for the bike. So I don't know what that comes out to, but probably about high 60s, right around 70.
Yeah, not crazy.
For the air bike.
Yeah, not crazy.
Yeah. But rest of it, he was just a machine. We knew he was going to be the man to beat, but 242, we were like, okay, best case, like 252, 253.
Who else could give him a run?
No one.
I mean,
Absolutely
Isaac Sanderson could for a little bit, but these splits are pretty
5 laps.
Unreal.
Unreal.
Rylan, maybe. I don't know.
The stay power is it's just it's crazy.
Matt, what'd you think about this ultra event? Like when you heard about it and then when you saw it.
I thought about it. I thought this is a really cool idea. Execution wise, it's like, do I want to watch this go on and on and on? Right? Like, do I want to watch? Is it something that's really exciting to watch, especially if it's not close? I mean, kind of. Like it's the kind of thing that kind of like World's Toughest, you like turn it on and turn it off. Like, oh, let's see how they're doing. Kind of
that's how I was digesting as well.
They said they want to do more of them. And I think, what I come back to with these things is like the GORA conversation, right? It's like such a small amount of people that really small amount of people really love it, but is it worth doing? So if they think that it was about 100 folks did it, and if they can justify putting on a second day of a DEKA and they can afford to do it, and you get 80 to 100 people every time, I guess it's worth it, right? But it's like, it's kind of cool, but you know what I mean? Is it something we need in our sport? Is it another category, another world record, another? Once a year to me is cool. Let's have an ultra race.
Yeah.
Don't do it in Fort Wayne. Do it at one of the bigger markets. Do it in PA. Do it in Florida, right?
Yeah. Texas.
And call it a day. And it's a cool thing we do once a year. And it's called the Ultra Championship. That's my thought.
Yeah.
I don't hate it, as the kids say.
I think it was
I agree.
Yeah, I think it was a very cool format. And talking with Dylan, I got a little bit more feedback on like what it was like. All right, Rich, what shoes did you wear? So if you're racing this next time,
well,
Dylan and his shoe choices are always.
Aren't you required to say Puma DV8 Nitro 3?
Not me. They can't tell me shit. But Endorphin Pro.
Puma Velocity 4.
Puma Velocity. Okay.
Did you at least get a pair, Rich, as a member of the Elite 15, even though you were bottom of the Elite 15?
I got DV8. Yep, they gave it to before the race. DV8 Nitro, not Elite, regular. 2. We did not get the 3s. Only Meg had the 3s. She gets that special treatment.
Yeah.
For some reason.
He said that those were very grippy, had good cushioning. They don't have a carbon plate though. He was very surprised that the floor did not actually get that wet. So whatever they were doing,
that was a concern of ours.
Yeah,
Sweaty? You mean sweaty?
Sweaty people in and out of the zones, drinking water, spilling it, all that stuff. He said it was not the issue that he was worried about.
Nice.
They had the volunteers like those guys at the basketball game. As soon as the free throw goes,
squeegee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Inside temperature wasn't that bad. Some people were drenched in sweat, but Dylan said he wasn't sweating more than normal that he'd expect at an indoor event. So I guess
this is a training session for him. Yeah, he was just out there training.
Fuel. Here's the best part. All right. What was his fuel?
Those mango peach rings.
2 packs of Gushers. That's it.
That's all he ate.
He went through the transition zone a total of 6 times, and all he did was basically take a couple sips of vitamin water. And his main strategy was he just carb loaded super heavy the night before. So
just a day.
He had a couple things that
work. I thought we scientifically proved you can't carb load the night before.
Well, Dylan proved otherwise.
You can definitely carb load.
I would say that Dylan is risking a problem with lack of caloric intake. I would not do that.
He rocked it.
I would say most people should not do what Dylan did, but it worked for Dylan.
It worked for Dylan this time.
I think if you're out there for 3 hours, 42 minutes instead of 2:42, then you're really going to be in trouble. But
how many calories do you think elite marathoners take?
Liquid? I don't know, probably like 400 total.
2 packs of Gushers with some vitamin water.
Yeah.
He's probably 300.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Staying slightly hydrated, but not more than he needs to. Yeah.
How much do they weigh? How much do elite marathoners weigh?
130.
Right. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the caloric intake of an elite marathoner. That would be about this big. If you have more muscle too, you can store more glycogen in it, which is what carb loading does. So if it is something about he can store more calories if we want to do something like that.
Everybody listening is like, Matt's in on Science Corner. What is happening? Listen, goddamn.
Yeah.
It's calories in, calories out. All right. Simple math here. And if you're not putting enough in, your body starts to go, what the fuck?
Matt, would you be drinking Dunkin' Donuts during your laps?
If I got a sponsorship, yes, but otherwise, no.
So Gushers only have 80 calories. 80 calories.
Drinking Tailwind.
Gushers is an
although I gotta say, I just tried this new stuff that Mossman does, and it was pretty delicious.
Is it the same company?
No, it's weird. He sold the first one and then started a new one. It kind of makes no sense.
And it's like the same thing?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you have a supplement company, you do good things with it, then you either have a partnership go wrong or he sold it, and then you started another supplement company. It just doesn't seem.
What's his new one called?
Good Supplements. Simply Good Supplements, or Simply Good Sups.
Simply Good?
Simply Good.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
All right.
Jack, how closely do you read labels? Are you concerned about accidentally?
Oh yeah, I don't have, like, I very, very rarely take any supplements, but I am super sensitive to like sugar, alcohols, like any sucralose, any aspartame, any of that stuff. I'll just get destroyed if I have any of that stuff. So I read stuff very carefully.
So here's the thing: you're colorblind. You burn easy.
I can read font.
You would not survive. Like if this was like the 1500s, you'd be dead.
Matt, I just spent 3 days on a canoe trip in the wilderness in Utah with 105 degrees and crazy sun. I'm not sunburned right now. I can figure this out.
He's not fragile like you think.
But back in the 1500s, you couldn't have taken all these supplements and you couldn't have put all the stuff in your skin. You would have died.
So if you take
on the Oregon Trail, you're toast.
I would not have participated in the Oregon Trail. I will.
You would have stuck it to the East Coast.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people stay.
That's why our family's from. That's why our family's from New Hampshire.
Actually, crazy story. So I almost ended up in Australia. So
you could be there this weekend, crushing the HYROX with Monique McCrana.
Yeah, or with Wooly. But what happened? I'll just share this. Why not? So my family, apparently, like 1902, 1903, there were two brothers, and they agreed like a month before, hey, we're gonna go on a boat, go to Australia, and they agreed on a date, and one of them got the date wrong, and he showed up a day later. And one of them, the first brother, got on a ship, went to Australia. Second,
he went without him. He just like, all right.
I mean, this is like 1903. You didn't have communication, and it was.
But he didn't know he was.
I know.
Yeah,
he just showed up, bought a ticket, got on there. Next brother shows up. He thought it was supposed to be like the 17th. He showed up on the 18th. And or one of those days he got it mixed up. He sees a boat, he buys a ticket for it, ends up in Boston. They never see each other again. And then later on, the family, meets the other side that eventually resulted in me. So
You
pretty
got some
crazy.
Australian roots then? You got some people down there?
I'm sure that some long, long, long lost cousins are out there, but
Also lathered in sunscreen.
absolutely. Yeah. Hiding.
From Ireland?
Yeah. Ireland, Germany, and there's some
Where were
French
we going? I
Canadians. I
feel
don't
like
know.
we were somewhere good before I took us off the track.
Somewhere good, Matt.
you
You've
were
like
you were
spilling
making fun of
milk
him.
and stuff this whole episode.
You were talking,
what are
yeah, you were
about?
talking about gushers not being enough. You're
Yeah.
trying to drop some science out here.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he's rolling the dice. That's all. But
That's
he knows
okay.
his body. So
I do have another stat for you, right? Or another presentation real quick on Dylan. So this table right here, it shows the drop off per lap. So if you look at like your fastest versus slowest, Dylan down here, he only, and actually we have the table. So he only dropped 4.1% over the course of the race. On average, people were 19.9. So they were like went out way too fast. But if you look at the high performers, imagine that, like Mark Paulzine, second place. He was the third slowest drop off. Brooklyn Nichols, she won on the women's side. Joseph Rucco, he ended up getting top 5. Like if you pace evenly, you're gonna do well. But I think that some of those opening laps were just foolish, a little too fast for some
I
people.
don't know why you would do that.
Yeah.
Matt, you had a post about the numbers.
I did.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. I'm not going to share my screen because it's proprietary information.
All right.
Oh,
But I
Just
can
with that
tell
audio.
you, that it was, I think I actually got one of the numbers wrong on the
uh-oh.
on
Doesn't that stink that Instagram doesn't let you like edit a post or swap out a photo if you had it?
516. Okay. 516
For
and by the
fit.
way, well, for everything.
For the
teams
including the
included?
ultra?
Or-
Yeah. This is everything. No. And then 110 on the teams.
Okay.
Sorry, 110 on the ultra.
On
So
the
a
ultra.
total,
Okay.
a total of 626. And we don't, we can't pull out individuals, but we do the same thing with HYROX, right? So it's
Right.
this many singles, this many doubles times 2, this many relays times 4. So yeah. So it was one of the lower ones. The lowest one was the road show. It was like they didn't even crack 200, sadly.
Oof.
Denver.
Yeah.
What was DF Fort Wayne last year?
Fort Wayne last year. So glad you asked. Last year was a week after Philly, and it was 276. So they did improve. They did double over
They
double it.
improved quite a bit. Huh.
Yeah.
But still, when we're comparing it to HYROX is like 10x of that.
Right.
I mean,
And
it wasn't for the longest time though. Like HYROX has exploded exponentially in like the past couple of years for sure. But we were seeing low numbers for a while, but they figured out the US market finally.
Not 500.
Well,
I don't
right,
think.
but their euros were
Oh, yeah.
always over 1,000 and usually closer, like over 2
Yeah.
in America. They were in the single digits. But
For sure.
what I also said in the video was like, if Deka wants to say, well, we're doing all these Deka events. It's like, well, so is HYROX. HYROX is doing 1 million gym events. They
Yeah.
just don't. It's just not all inside of HYROX, but people can put on, a half rocks, and they're doing that. People are putting on their own
PFT.
It's like all this stuff, and so they're losing that market. They're losing that one too. So it's the same old story. Sadly, Spartan won't put money behind it. It could be the biggest miss of all time, like the biggest miss of all time. They should go, wait a minute, fuck trail. We'll finish out the season. We're not putting another nickel towards it. Fuck the paddleboard race. Like they should just go so in on this thing called fitness racing that is clearly taking over the world, and they're probably not going to do it. It's really a big miss. It's very sad.
In your opinion, then, with this type of number, is it more of a brand awareness presentation of the event, like just Deka in general, or how much are you going to put as a result of the location of these things? Like if this is in Chicago proper, are we going to get 1,500 because 5,000 plus people signed up for HYROX and are aware of what this is, and it's just like putting it in the spot where people have shown that there's interest? Or is it just the Spartan of it all that is not bringing people in?
I can tell you that in England, if they put on anything, they would just get HYROX leftovers and fill it up. I
For
feel like
sure.
that
For
just
sure.
feels like the case.
No
In
doubt.
America, that's a good point though. The Chicago comp, like, would they get those kind of numbers? Not yet, because there's not enough. Like, you know what I mean? People aren't really talking about it, but I think people who do HYROX are looking for events. They're getting sold out of events. They
Mhm.
start to hear about DEKA. They pay attention to America a little bit, and they know, they know that Lauren's done it and these other people have done it and Meg used to do it, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, but it's all part of it. It's all the same thing called, how can I do this as cheaply as possible? Because I think I should save 20 cents now versus spending $1 now and making $2 later, which is the whole point of the whole thing with Spartan at
Mhm.
pretty much at any level. At any
So it's more just the organization, how they're putting it together, what like the decisions they're making around the product.
So, for example, in Europe, right? The guy Angel Angel that runs DEKA Spain, he owns everything, right? Like he's got the Spartan license, right? So he can put on Spartans, he could put on Supers and Beasts, he could put on trail races, and he can put on DEKAs. They had a huge hit with their first, I can't remember if it was Malaga or Zaragoza, whatever, but it worked. And they're like, cool, let's do more of these. Let's put them on indoors in these events, at these cool little stadium events. Let's go all in. So what I would do if I were Joe was to give Angel a lot of money and say, go replicate that. Do Portugal and Germany this year because you're right there. And then the next year, do a few more countries. But they're not. What they're doing is they're giving the job to people in Spartan that are already like the European head of Spartan and Mutter. Like, okay, also build some DEKAs. Do you see how that's not going to work as well? Because that person's already got a lot on their plate. And that's another thing Spartan likes to do is if people leave, they don't replace them. They just put more on the plate in the next person. So to me, it's such a no-brainer. And they might by accident, it might happen in England, for example.
I'm saying, right.
It might just by accident, like again, just getting the leftovers. But again, when you think about what Christian and his crew have done, they certainly lost money at those first few American events, right?
Yeah.
All that money for the Navy Pier, but they saw the future. And Joe's not going to do that, sadly. Why would I pay all that money? I'm going to lose money. Like he just doesn't see it.
So someone's gonna have to fill this, right? And this is a conversation that we have sometimes, but now
Who's it going to be?
what's gonna happen, right? Who's gonna see this and be like, all right, now we're just going to basically do what DEKA did, but didn't fully commit to it once they realized they couldn't partner. It's like, all right, we'll just make your thing and we'll just do it cheaply, and this is what we're getting now.
Just like early OCR, right, Jack? Everybody had it. Everybody, there was 600.
There were 700 different companies doing OCR.
Literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't believe there's not more, right? We got Athex who have threatened to do more, but so far
Doesn't seem to be as popular either. It's not catching on the way.
Well, I
They
just
get the
think
same kind of numbers as DEKA in the UK.
I have to look at their numbers to compare, but I know they did finally launch either Scotland or Germany or both, right? So they got out of England, right? Even though Scotland's just north, but they could maybe do it. And then you got this guy Deadly Dozen who's just doing it at fucking high school tracks, but again, doesn't have the budget. Somebody's got to come in with money, okay, and an idea and go, look, guys, look at these guys are going to be in 100 countries. There's money to be made. Remember fucking you and I talked about the stupid
Conor
McGregor thing?
Yeah.
Almost happened, but that was a real company that could have put money behind it.
And that's how.
Is DEKA, are they more like, hey, we like having fit, we're only doing it 6 to 8 times a year, but our gym events, that's what's really keeping it afloat?
These gyms are going to de-affiliate, unaffiliate as soon as they can. If they're not making money back from these events, they're going to.
I think a good amount of them.
I think
definitely breaking even.
I think the Kevin Gregory's and the other people, because remember, they also have to do it right. It's not just on DEKA. It's like you've got to be able to have people come to your events, then capture those people to get them to be the gym members. Because if you do the whole, even if I only get one gym member a month out of it, it's worth it kind of thing. That's what some people think of. But yeah, if you don't market it right, and you don't get anything, and then they owe you money for an event, that's another thing. Again, then it just becomes an insult of why would I fucking ever give you money when you owe me money?
And the brand awareness that you would get around being a HYROX affiliate, even though you can't do the events necessarily that make you money, that like the revenue share that Deka does and doesn't follow up on their word from. But if you could just have a HYROX class and be able to search through your HYROX affiliate, like that type of awareness is way more valuable than
And it costs the
DEKAFIT
same.
brand.
It's like
It costs the
$100 a
same.
month.
So why would you do both? Why would you do both when when
I
HYROX
just
is going to
think-
get you more return?
I just think, yeah, I think Deka, I'm trying to keep track of it through their website, but there's 300, let's say, affiliates right now. And I can see that either staying the same or starting to drop as people are like, I've done this for a year. I got no value. I
I'm just
dropped.
going to do HYROX.
HYROX,
Yeah.
it's like, as more and more events pick up, I'm trying to get on the ground floor here in Atlanta. When they announce it, Atlanta HYROX the spring, which I think they will, I mean, they'll announce it sooner than the spring. Everybody's going to be Googling that. So I've contacted a couple local gyms and said, do you want to promote? Like, let's do it together. Like half, like we'll split rev and we'll kind of help build this thing in the South, in Atlanta. So yeah, I think people will definitely want to be HYROX affiliates, and the super honks of honks will always show up to Deka, just like they'll show up to Spartan no matter what. And Joe's really trying. Joe loves us.
There's been a couple gym owners in the Colorado area who basically, not that they're forced to, but that they're getting asked so often about HYROX now. They're just like, we're just going to affiliate and we're just going to have a class, and it's going to, our members are asking for it. No members are asking for Deka, you know, because they're not like CrossFit athletes. People who do CrossFit aren't seeing Deka the way that they're seeing HYROX. So they're not like, hey, are you guys going to offer a Deka class? Like,
Deka might be dumb.
it might be. Deka Ultra, though, we like it.
Why are you so quiet, Jack? Are you because you're on the Spartan payroll?
No, I was
Got the
listening to what you
Deka shirt
said.
on.
I was gonna chime in on just some numbers for year over year, just because I had that, but it wasn't the right time to chime in. So
Okay, well now you can chime.
okay.
Chime away, my friend.
So yeah, if we look, and this is just elite plus age group plus open. I don't have teams on there, but you know that's
I do.
probably, okay. I have the rest in front of me right here. So your Spain one, it looks like most of the events in Spain were about 300 or so last year. Now they're about 400 this year. If we look at Fort Wayne, it went from 247 to 359 this past year, not including teams. And then if we look at Austin, it's gone from 378 to 432 to 527, and a couple other ones. Knoxville 337 to 549, Sacramento 449 to 479. So this is like it's growing, but not like times 5 or something.
Right.
Yeah, you would need that to then double or triple the next year, and
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No, yeah, I think the thing that HYROX definitely has, and I'm sure that there's a higher cost associated with getting a Navy Pier versus, you know,
Yeah.
Fort Wayne nearby.
Big time.
So it's like if you are in city center, you're gonna get more people because that's where more people live, and I think that would be the issue. Like if you did Philadelphia instead of Oaks, Pennsylvania, Rich, you're
Did
familiar with
Deka
the
Philly? What are you
area.
talking about? Oh no, I did
But-
Deka Northeast. I did do Deka
But
Philly.
Oaks isn't in like the Philly proper, really, right?
No.
Yeah. So it's like you kind of have to be in the area to really know, unless you know a gym. I think that doing it
People did
in
it for OCR, but that's because they didn't have a choice, right? People did it. People drove an hour outside their race.
But that's the Spartan model for
And that's the
OCR, because
experience.
that's where you have open trails and someone
Right.
willing to rent land. But that's indoor events is a different
right.
idea.
So if Yancey goes to Deka, if Yancey goes to Joe and team and says, "Can you please give me a little bit more money and I can rent a real venue in a real city?" He's going to get a no, and that's why they're doomed. Sadly, I mean, it's really sad. People hate me to say that. I'm really sorry. I wish it weren't true,
but it's definitely true. I don't see them making it.
You guys, the only ones saying it besides me, though. I feel like, well, I mean, there aren't that many podcasts, I guess, about Deka, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's like, it's sad but true. Sad but true.
I mean, the race is great. You know, the race is a good race.
I mean, listen, I want to qualify for Worlds. I've done a couple of miles, and I'm looking to do my plus 120 qualify for Worlds.
What's the Ocala drive?
Well, I'd probably fly, but I think I'm gonna drive down with my partner. So then we'll drive.
Okay.
Disney World trip for the kids.
Yeah. My daughter's a senior in high school. What do you want for the kids?
There are adults like Gary who still go to Disney World.
Senior in high school? Wow.
My daughter just started her senior fucking year of high school.
Wait, just start? So school starts in July?
They get out in early May and they're back at end of July.
Whoa.
That is not right. You need
That is
summer
crazy.
vacation if you're a kid.
You really don't. It's kind of dumb to have summer vacation at all.
You'd rather be in school?
Not as a kid. Well, in terms of fun, no, but in terms of learning,
Yeah.
probably. Like the first couple weeks of school is just going over what you forgot the year before.
Definitely.
It's ridiculous.
Let's not talk about the school system in this country. I'm just thrilled that
That's
my
crazy.
wife had to take them to school this morning, and I'm not thrilled that my next child, who's in 10th grade, screams and curses at us when we wake him up in the morning.
Not a morning person.
He's gonna have a car soon, I bet.
What's that?
Is he gonna have a car soon?
Jackson actually did ask me to teach him how to drive, and I said, "Well, you gotta take the learner's permit." He's like, "Well, I don't." Well, okay, well, I'm not teaching you to drive till you do that. So
Gotta get that permit. Gotta the written.
I never
test.
had a permit. They didn't have it in New Hampshire.
Live free or die or
got my license like
I went
2
straight to
weeks
license
after.
too, but only because I didn't get one till I was allowed to when I was 18.
Wow.
Jack, I'm going to New Hampshire this weekend.
Horrible.
You're going to New Hampshire this weekend?
I'm gonna be in NH. I'm gonna hit up Max Apples.
Londonderry?
Gonna hit it. I'm gonna be the town, not Salem. There's a town, Wyndham.
Wyndham? Yeah, my mom
Why are
works
you
there.
going to New Hampshire?
Wyndham, dude. Amy's from New Hampshire. Her brother's getting married in the fall, so he's doing like a engagement party situation.
Yeah.
So we're going. I haven't seen his place. And
Matt, Rich's wife and I have been to many track meets without realizing it at the same
same
time.
same age, same at the tracks.
Could be you, Jack. You could be
you,
Mr. Ryan.
I'll leave that to Rich.
We're living the similar. We're both on a podcast. We're both in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's not too different.
We've got similarities. That's where
Not
it
too
goes.
different. You and I,
I'm
Jack.
not wife stealing.
Appreciated.
Yeah.
That'd be a problem for me.
That will be a problem for the podcast and a lot of things. Yeah.
All right, Matt. What else you got going on, dude?
Well, hold on. We need to give a shout out to like Brooklyn for winning the women's race. We kind of just talked about Dylan mainly, and then registration numbers.
So Brooklyn she's at 37 mid, 38 high, 40, 41, 41. Still really good.
Yeah.
These are really good times.
Yeah, because if you're looking at the leaderboard for 2024 on the women's side, I guess 15th place, 35-57. So it's like a couple minutes below, but 37 often will get you a podium at a local race.
Mm-hmm.
So consistent across the board.
I'm at Brooklyn at Worlds. She swept Worlds, and she said, I told myself if I fucking swept, I'd do elite next year, and she's doing elite.
She was age group. Yeah, she won triple one, as the age groupers say.
Triple gold, baby.
Yep. Yeah, she was very impressive.
You think we're gonna see a HYROX Ultra?
No.
I think also
I have a better question.
Yeah.
In 5 years or more, will they ever change it? Will they change the order? Would they change the station?
HYROX?
Yes.
No. I can
Never.
see them doing a HYROX half, but they'll never change the order or the stations.
I don't think they should. Unless they want to spin it off and do a whole new event.
We come from a repeatable sport, and a lot of people who do also, like, they're not like 400 is kind of boring. Let's do like a 437 this year. Like, they don't change distances.
Start
it's
it
kind of
different.
what it is. And then the comparing against your historical marks, just to see where you stack up. Granted, it's a very tough sport to do it with, given the carpet and all the other sled issues and stuff that have happened.
Yeah, the courses are not the same at all.
Never the same. 2 1/3 laps, 500 laps. It's crazy different. But I think that the consistency is what
every OCR is different, and people get bored.
Well, they get bored because it's Jacksonville.
HYROX?
Probably. They probably will get bored. I don't think you can keep those people either way. There's going to be a lot of people who come in here for a year or 2 or 3 and then find something different, whatever that is. I don't think you can cater to those people to try to keep them.
I don't think you can either, but I think the people that do, I think you might want to change it.
They'll jump ship either way.
Matt,
No.
Matt, the people who aren't interested in the repeatability,
they're just doing it because
they're going to do the next thing.
It's a new thing. Like how many people in OCR do you think have 1 or 2 career races? Like probably at least half. They just wanted to try it.
Way more than half.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm saying I bet HYROX is going to be very similar. It's like, oh, it's in my city once a year. Oh, that was really hard. I don't want to do that, but it was cool. It was the exciting thing to do. That's really the new fitness craze. And the next year they might not do it. I could see stuff like that happening to half the
Well,
field.
Jack, you and I do have a unique position that we were at the front of the OCR craze, and now we get to watch this and compare. And it
Yeah,
definitely feels very much, it feels very,
we've
very
got
similar.
similarities. Yeah.
So what do you guys project then in terms of, so we're in the wave, right? We're still going up for this
Still,
wave.
yeah.
Yes.
What would you project that wave would peak and start to like kind of come down a little bit? How many years does this have until it's at its apex? Apex mountain projection.
Well, he told me that our goal is be in the 70 like best cities in the world, right? 70 top cities in the world. Some of those are dupes. So we do somewhere between 100 and 120 races.
Like London's going to have 2 a year.
Right.
New
Some will
York's
have 2 a
yeah.
year. But because that's his goal, and I believe him, and it isn't just, well, be like Spartan and just like, well, we'll just put on a race wherever we need to. Whoever says yes, we'll just kind of put one there. Right. I think it's a really good goal to have. And I think they can be super duper profitable that way. And I think that that's going to ride a while because they don't put one on in Alabama just to lose money. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
and
So
these
like big cities.
right now, they are definitely the hot girl and getting asked by every single country, can you please bring one here? And they can be really picky. And Spartans was opposite, which at the time I said was actually a pretty good idea, which was don't worry about quality, just put it there and then you'll catch up later. Which definitely worked for Spartan, right? And it took a few years to get quality control back. But these guys, because they bring the circus and the circus fucking like really, really rocks at this really high level, they can afford to be super picky. So, you know,
I think that
if I knew I would short center stock, I have no idea how long it's going to last. But like they've definitely got to. And again, it depends. If nobody ever comes up, then it's shorter. But if
I think it's bad, right?
They do get a couple the ethics of the world, but not ethics, whatever. A couple of
They need a real competitor.
a real competitor. We need a number 2.
they are definitely not in the battle frog type of aggressive growth. I think that what they're doing is going to work. That choose the big cities. They're not in China yet, but I don't think that people realize how big of a market that is for like fitness growth and what's happening. There are so many people who are getting into fitness over there. And if you look at the Spartan kids races, for instance, in China, they have like 5,000 kids showing up for a kids only race weekend over there. And there has to be a market for this. There's no way that hybrid won't work.
You know, I hate to point to my own content, but if you do watch this interview with Christian, he's like, we're about to be in Shanghai, Taiwan, Vietnam, like all these.
So he knew that already, but yeah.
But I'm saying they're about to be in all those places.
Yeah. And then
and next year we get, let's just throw it out there. Let's just say next year for HYROX, we get Atlanta, Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like we know
Vegas, I'm hearing.
Vegas?
That's what I'm hearing.
Oh, do you think it'll be back at that convention center? Or I guess it doesn't really matter where they do it.
Probably. Yeah. Plenty of spots there. Somewhere along the strip.
But bottom line, I think.
Were you in Las Vegas in 2022?
No.
Were you in Big Bear in 2022?
I was rabbiting, but I don't think it was the same weekend. Now that I think about
it, was
Magida,
same day.
Magida stayed at the same place as me, and he was destroyed that next morning.
But you didn't go to Vegas?
No. I got in probably at like 9 p.m.
Matt was there.
It was both.
He was at both.
There.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Matt, what kind of rumors are you hearing? What do you got for
like
me?
Rumors?
You got rumors? Majors.
I'll just say that I think we're going to see all those big cities in 2025. I just want them to fucking announce it already. But
I know. They need to announce a season now too, because they're getting Spartan level for their season length.
With how much international travel there is, you need to give people a heads up and don't stretch out the season. Like if they have a major in September or October, and then World Champs is in June again, that's like Spartan level season.
It's too long.
Too long.
We bash them for that, but don't do that. That would not be smart.
They're going to. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, there is that 3-day event coming up that people think that might be a major.
What's
What is
that?
Amsterdam? Is that Amsterdam?
Amsterdam, I'm hearing potentially. Yeah, that's October 11th. I've also heard Madrid.
It's a 3-dayer. And if you have
Wow.
3 days, that's usually like the Friday.
Friday.
Hint, hint. Yeah.
True. And Hong Kong is that way as well, right?
Yeah, that one already, like I announced that as soon as it happened.
Isn't that like the special?
It was called the Open Championship.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually says it on there?
You heard Vegas as a major or just an American city?
It's just an American city that's gonna happen. I heard
Uh-oh, who are you looking out for? Looking out for Mintra?
the US major is gonna be in February.
Oh.
Vegas is a potential
Vegas?
February
Okay.
destination. This
Matt,
is just
I know
could
you're
be completely wrong.
You're saying it also. You're hearing it also, right?
I'm hearing big major cities. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. Oh, I meant pronunciation.
How do you say it?
He's saying it weird. Yeah.
Okay. It's not just me.
How you say it?
Vegas.
How am I
Like
saying
Matt. You're saying like egg, like an egg. Vegas.
Vegas.
Instead of
Vegas.
It's all good. I could hear
Vegas.
Matt being like, what?
You know what you can't
Jack,
get?
shut the fuck up.
You know what you can't get? See how mean he is? You know what you can't get in Vegas, Jack?
What? Sunscreen?
Good hoagie.
Can't get a hoagie out there, dude.
Can't get a hoagie.
So I'm hearing that, and then not
that's-
sure.
That's 3 potentially.
I don't know what the other one would be. There's no
World champs, not Singapore, which I've been saying and nobody believed me, but he did confirm that on my podcast. It is definitely not
Singapore. That's great.
Okay.
Idiots. Think of
Great.
it. They're gonna.
That was the rumor. That was a rumor last year too.
From everybody, but it's like people kept saying it. Like it's not going to be. He confirmed it's not.
If
That'd
it's
be
in that
insane.
national stadium, you better just train in a sauna all day. Like that
It's
humidity
just
would be
too
brutal.
far to go for most people, right?
Yeah.
And until like maybe in a few years when HYROX is so huge, it's like it doesn't matter. Everyone's just going to go. But now it's got to be Europe or America.
It's got to be. It's got to be close to the UK. You can't have UK.
Europe or America.
It has to be the CrossFit model where it's like where are the most good people and the biggest numbers. Okay, US for CrossFit, but right now it should be in Europe for the foreseeable future.
Okay, so the other really key part, I know we're jumping all over the place. Who cares? We're at the 2-hour mark. Congratulations.
We gotta go.
This podcast is too long.
We're rolling.
Gotta be done.
And haven't you adopted the long form
Yeah,
model
weird.
as well? We've been hearing all this too long, too long. I look at your distance. I don't listen. I just look to see the duration.
I'm gonna go on HFM's
Hour
YouTube
45,
channel just see how long these
2:10.
are. Yeah.
They're long.
Goodness.
They're
They're
over
long.
Listen,
We're
I
aware.
spoke too soon. Listen, I spoke too soon about the thumbnails, but that's the difference between I can admit I'm wrong. Name the last time Bracken Cracker said he was wrong. He's
He's never been wrong.
Has a new theory.
Who else? He said the Castro, the Dave Castro of OCR hybrid. You're saying that's what BK is? Just doubling down?
Always. What the hell were you just saying?
World,
Locations.
Singapore.
Oh,
You're talking about your content, of course.
If you put on twice as many races, it's twice as hard to make AG World Champs, which I like. It means you really got to do it.
Exclusive.
You gotta work, right? Now,
And guess what happens when
a
you
good
have
point.
exclusivity? You have more people wanting to do it because it's more prestigious, which is what we were talking about earlier. So I think it's good for business.
How tough is it going to be for Rich Ryan to get back into the Elite 15?
The 15. It's gonna be hard. That shouldn't change that much though, because it's still
Top 3 or whatever.
it's still
top
like the
5 at
participation
maybe.
of the elite of like those people. That might increase, but very much less than what the age group pool will.
Are you
increase.
good for getting in majors next year? Are you going to have to start
No.
from square one again? Okay.
I will
You
get
have
into none.
you being in the Elite 15 does not help you at all. You're going to have
No.
to get a time qualifier before the first major if you want to do that.
Yes, and
Because
that's
you
like
weren't
that's
top
fine.
5. Yeah,
And like
yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
fine. But the time thing is still like my issue.
That's
of
the main
course.
issue. Yeah.
Who's Hybrid Sport Media? Sorry, I just saw this. I was trying to open the map for this
What'd you-
weekend.
And what you got was a competitor right in your grill.
HSM? It almost sounds similar.
Oh, I'm 35th right now. Yikes!
Have you seen this? This is the Sydney map. Looks pretty interesting.
It's like a circle.
That is
Circle and a
It's like an
square.
It's like an hourglass.
Yeah, it's like a circle and a square.
That's craziness. They had that
Oh,
last year though. That and when they didn't they have to go to a different building, and the times were still
that
very
was,
fast.
That was something else. Jack, have you heard about the not confused with the Deka Ultra Cup, the Deka Cup in Spain
Europe?
this week?
Yeah, that they're gonna have like several different teams. Jezebel Kramer, A lot of the top Spanish guys. I think they have like a
So
team.
there's
A,
actually
B, C,
just
D.
2 teams, sadly.
Oh, okay. I thought I
There's
saw team A, B, C, D, but maybe I'm.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? But
Yeah.
no, there's team D and there's team K,
For
like
first letter of a name or something.
like Deka.
Okay,
I'm not kidding.
That's bad.
I know, but that's what we've got.
I do know about the cup though. But go on,
That's
you
pretty cool.
know a little bit more. It is cool.
I was just gonna say we could talk a little bit about it. I have been in conversation with a couple people about like, hey, maybe somebody could throw up. If somebody throws up their Instagram, I'll put it on my YouTube,
Yeah.
give them some love. So that's what we're working on. But there's a men's team and a women's team, right?
Yep.
And you can win individually, and then what? It's golf scoring, track scoring. How are they doing it?
I think it's kind of like we do for the draft. It's like first person gets 1 point, second place gets 2 points, and it's lowest cumulative time.
Do you, Jack, as the man who knows more than anything about anybody about the stats, you take a race like this weekend, not a lot of big names. Do you still like sift through the sign up list when they release the participation list and see like, oh, like
For Deka?
there and Tanguy Goredi is there?
Yeah. I mean, I have the results in a database, so I can just pull them up pretty quickly. And yeah, it's like, okay, so and so did well. Are they affecting me on the leaderboard? I just like seeing who's here.
So can we do a quick who we think who's going to do well this weekend then?
Yeah,
Since
you have the
first
list.
HYROX event this weekend.
I don't have
One
the
in
list
several
in
weeks?
front of me. If
Looking
you
at
have the teams, then I'll definitely do it. But I don't have them in front of me.
I meant HYROX, not Deka.
Oh, I thought you said.
Oh, for the Sydney race?
Oh,
Let's look this up. See if
yeah.
it is available. Have you scoured it, Matt? You seen anybody good in here?
Well, we talked about it briefly on my show, and
Sure, I got it up.
the only ones we know
Do
are
a screen share. Yeah.
what's his name from Australia? Our buddy Monique, the guy that does the ROX app, Tengu. I don't know how you say his name.
Yeah. Didn't he win last time?
The French dude.
Yeah.
He did. He had a good race in the last Australian race, wherever that was.
Lockie Cooper. Now that's a name.
Yeah, these Australian names are pretty hilarious.
Yeah, Tanguy Cruz.
He's good.
Scott Cummins, Tony Curtis. He's a good, probably 20, 30 OCR podiums.
Hamish. I like that name.
Hamish Harrison, is he on there? If he is, he's really good. Nope.
This person's kind of like an influencer person.
Christy Hindley.
I believe so.
Yeah, I recognize her name. Keep going. I'm going to take all the
James
names.
Kelly, JK, right there.
Hey, hit me with that JK impression, dude.
Matt's the accent guy.
Rich. Tell me what you think about. I saw Hunter. Tell me, do you think he's got? What do you think? Is that good?
That's pretty good.
That's decent. Yeah,
that's really good.
Much better than Scottish.
Way better than your Scottish one.
It's not Scottish. It's crap. I will take anybody with a hyphenated name. How about that?
Okay.
There's a few hyphenated names in there because the English and the Australians, they love to do that.
Dylan Party. Watch out for him. He beat VJ in a race.
A foot race?
Spartan Fiji. Yeah.
Mm.
And he was like
Spartan
podium at Spartan. Dylan Party is legit.
They say VG.
Fiji and Fiji.
Right.
Jack's basically Australian.
Caleb Susie.
I could have been.
Half Australian.
Hyphenated name. I'm taking her. Caleb Susie.
Susie.
Bracken always does. Makes up that he's heard of these people.
Nope. Keep going.
You read all those names like that?
There's no way you read those.
You got speed. You got a speed reader.
Well,
I tried that a couple times.
Names jump out that you know. I mean, that's kind of easy.
Well, you need to read them first.
Nope.
You might miss somebody.
You didn't see Dylan Party. I had to call him out. And
There's
second to last.
Bang.
Chris Woolley. What is Chris Woolley famous for?
Murph.
No, he was good at OCR. He was really good at OCR, right?
He was kind of like the first Manuel Defoe. Came over to the US.
Yeah.
Threw his name in the Stadium Series a couple times.
He's at Deka Worlds. He's just good. He's just solid all across the board.
I thought he was like, wasn't he one of the first good HYROX guys too, or no?
In Australia, yeah, but
he came over to Dallas 2020.
He was
Did
on
well.
he was OCR. He did
The
good on stadiums. And,
Invitational.
Yeah. He's very well rounded.
did he do
Fantastic
the
climber
Invitational?
also. No. He was not in the Invitational. He was in regular Dallas.
All right. No rumors.
enough.
No rumors, Matt. You don't got anything. I'm giving you the rumors. I'm giving you that dish.
I told you I agreed with most of what you said.
I agree with everything you said. Thank you.
All right.
Maybe
All right.
off mic, I'll tell you. Maybe if you hit stop, I'll tell you some stuff.
Wow. Okay, we got to go.
Whoa. Yeah,
Matt,
we're
thank you
out.
so much for joining us.
Thank
It
you for
is a-
having me. I
was a
love this. I
pleasure.
love this show. This is my favorite podcast that I don't produce.
Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude.
Maybe we'll have Bracken back next week. If not, Matt, we'll check your availability.
If he is alive, but if not, we'll let you know. Goodbye.